so we slept with the windows open. There were church bells, sirens, and car alarms in three-part harmony. Right after dawn, we walked down to the diner. Brought a smoke, but I lost my lighter. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta get away to a place where nobody knows your name. Get lost in the lights, let the rhythm of the night take your hand and lead you astray. Funny how you feel brand new down West 4th and 6th Avenue. On the ride into Port Authority, got a taxi cab lecture on eternity. He said let go of the burdens and troubles you carry, 'cause this life is nothing but temporary. Sometimes you just gotta get away to a place where nobody knows your name. Get lost in the lights, let the rhythm of the night take your hand and lead you astray. Funny how you feel brand new down West 4th and 6th Avenue. All the glass and the steel make you feel so small. They cut through the sky and remind you it ain't all about your problems you past, the nights you can't get back. Get on the train, stop fighting the track, 'cause sometimes you just gotta get away to a place where nobody knows your name. Get lost in the lights, let the rhythm of the night take your hand and lead you astray. Funny how you feel brand new down West 4th and 6th Avenue. The train's passing by our bedroom window. It feels like the writing's on the wall. You try your best to reassure me, but lately I don't believe you at all. It takes time to build up some kind of mountain. It takes strength just to sit and watch it fall. We can hope that it all wasn't for nothing, but for now I will just wait out in the hall. If I can't change your mind, then I wanna change for you every single night. Pick my clothes, run my life, 'cause I wanna change for you every single night. sound self-destructive, but I'll be the first to make it work. Use your hands and control me like a puppet, because losing your love right now is worse. We can't hope that it all wasn't for nothing, but for now I will just wait out in the hall. If I can't change your mind, then I wanna change for you every single night. Pick my clothes, run my life, 'cause I wanna change for you every single night. It's better than saying goodbye. Change for you. It's better than saying goodbye. It's better than saying goodbye. I'll change for you. It's better than saying goodbye. Caught in the wind but never really moving. Spend your whole life wondering what to do. Can't help feeling like time is passing through you. Like life is getting smaller. Surround yourself with friends just to walk away feeling smug.
GSL Season 3.
Yeah. Never take me alive. The king is alive. I will arrive. You'll never take me alive. No, I will arrive. I will arrive.
Freaka TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 GSL Season 3.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Group D of the GSL Code S. I'm Tasteless. Artosis is still out of town, so with me again is State. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Group D is looking really fun. Excited for another day of StarCraft action here at GSL. And yeah, Dan's still in Canada, so you guys got to bear with me a little bit longer. But I'm excited to be here casting, man. It's been fun.
Good casting with you. It's been a lot of fun. Today should be another interesting one. We do have Creator playing today.
Yeah.
You know, we were looking at Protosses last season and the season before even, who might actually be able to come and take the whole thing. Creator getting to the finals of GSL Season 2, losing to Rogue. He's been hungry to try to come back and redeem himself. I guess it was Season 1, actually.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Season
2. Season 2, we had Hero actually come out and kind
Defeat
of
Maru.
cut the line, so to speak, and come out on top. So I'm interested with Creator specifically going into this season and seeing how well he can perform.
Yeah, this is a guy that is very emotional. He's very passionate about his gameplay. And when he's playing well, he's one of the best Protoss players in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he's off his game, he doesn't do so hot. But what we haven't really seen so far in this season is Protoss players kind of adapt to the way that Hero was playing.
Yeah.
Previously, which surprised me, honestly. I thought we'd see a little bit more of a meta shift.
I thought we were going to see a very forced meta shift with the success Heroes had. So we're going to see. We'll see if Creator's going to adopt some of those play styles and how he's going to perform exactly. The other three players in Group D are Su, Ryung, and RagnaroK. And I don't really know who's supposed to come out with these three either. I feel like Creator, we have to default as the most likely to advance. But with the other three, I mean, they've all been phenomenal at times, but they've also had moments where they've really fallen off.
Yeah, it's really tough to say. This is going to be a hotly contested group. I mean, Su, he's a StarCraft 2 legend. This guy has 6 second-place finishes, just back from his military service, so he's starting to get back into gear now. And I think a big story in this group is going to be how well Su performs, because it's been kind of a long time coming, him coming back from 2 years in the military. And some players, they really struggle to get back into form. Hero was kind of surprising in a way because he just like jumped right back into it and won a GSL.
It was like he never left.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't normally, well, I certainly don't say, and people that I know, I never hear say, well, you know, the military service was good for him and now he's going to be in great shape coming back. But
it doesn't happen.
It seems like that's what happened. Look, Su, this guy has been, he's gotten more second places in GSL than anybody else that we've ever had. Obviously, if you can get to that many finals, you are a king. You're a real threat. I don't know what to expect of him now that he's back. I think this is going to be, it's going to be kind of like a feeler match to see where we can put him at. But Creator is a serious opponent to go up against. He has really bubbled up to the top of players in GSL.
He really is, especially with his resurgence at the start of this year. I mean, kind of a late career peak for this guy. He's been around in StarCraft 2 forever. I was on a team with him in Prime, like,
that
must have been 2012, 2013, and he's always been a top Protoss, but never, like, the best that he kind of was at the beginning of this year. And I'm excited to see what he brings to the table here in Season 3. I mean, the way that Hero played in the previous season makes me think that any of these top Protoss players, if they can adapt and kind of embrace that style, and maybe just, even if they don't completely alter their game plans, but if they kind of incorporate that into their existing, you know,
add a little bit of that flavor in there and try to do that. And we didn't see that on Monday.
No.
When we were casting. It was a bit depressing.
We saw a lot of Phoenixes. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was a weird Group C for sure. We're going to see if Group D is going to be any better. But Creator certainly representing, I would say, out of the two Protoss players we have, kind of the modern approach to the game.
Oh, for
sure. A lot of good ideas here. Su, I mean, this guy's very solid. The question is you know, how was his prep? How is his relationship with the current meta, and how's that going to pan out? We're going to go to Data C for Map 1 here. Creator vs. Su starts now.
Team NV, Creator. Guangdong Freaks, Sue.
This is definitely the matchup that I'm most excited to watch tonight. Creator versus Sue. I'm really curious what we're going to see out of Sue coming into this GSL season.
Yeah, you know, one thing about Sue that I've always noticed is that, I mean,
It took me 15 goddamn
Hell
years to
yes.
finally watch StarCraft live in Korea. Thank you, man. Welcome.
I got to meet that guy before the show started. He came in here super early. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Just to go back a second to what I was that thought I was going to share.
Yeah.
One thing with Sue, I mean, he's got strategies, but I am inspired by how good he is tactically. And he seems to have really sharp instinct just in game.
Oh, for sure.
Like
He's one of the
he
best.
knows when he needs to just try to counterattack. He knows when to take fights. He's got good stamina, I would say, overall. Like, he doesn't fizzle out on his macro or anything like that. So, yeah, I think you're basically spot on, State, that this is going to be probably one of the more interesting best of threes inside Group D here with these two. Now, let's shift over to Creator for a second, because I feel like there's honestly always a lot to talk about with this guy. I mean, this is one of the players who's been in GSL the longest and did not reach the success that I think almost all of his peers reached. You know, it's one thing to be playing for this long, but usually in the decade plus this show's been on, we've seen the rise of all sorts of different players.
And the rise and the fall, really. A lot of
Sure.
players have had peaks where they seem to be, you know, contenders for GSL championships, even if they didn't win one. Whereas Creator has always been a top Protoss, but it wasn't really until this year that he finally kind of came into his own and was able to reach that finals. And it's exciting for him because he did it at a time where, I mean, keep in mind, Hero hadn't won his GSL yet. We still were, what, 5 years or something without a Protoss champion in GSL. So
Right.
Creator rising up to the occasion was such a huge story. So him being able to succeed in kind of an outdated meta where Protoss wasn't as strong as it is now, especially in this matchup, PVZ, I'm eager to see what he brings today, because this could be the start of a really successful season for him.
He had a phenomenal season one, got to the finals, and look, there's really no shame in losing to Rogue. Like, Rogue or Maru in GSL is like, that's usually who you lose to, and you can ask Sue about that here. He's certainly been in his share of finals, but the thing with Creator is that he is, if we put him on a spectrum of the players that like are not emotional like Maru, on the opposite end of that would be Creator, who's extremely emotional. You could be emotional and be good. You could be not emotional and be good, but you can also be emotional and it'll feed into, you know, bad play.
Absolutely can.
And so, you know, I think one of the things with Creator and watching him is that he's been very much focused on trying to master himself emotionally. And you know, he had a great run, but he also had a crushing defeat in season 2.
He did.
And you know, ask the headset. It was rough, man. We got a new one after that, but you know, he's turning a new leaf here. He's back in this, but he's always put a lot of pressure on himself.
I think more so than anybody. He just, you gotta kind of feel for him too, because it's taken him so long to kind of get to that level, and now it's like he's at the precipice, right? He's at the precipice of greatness.
So close. I mean, that's like a life goal, right, to win a GSL, and he wants it so badly.
We got a 4-gate Glaives coming out now. The Warp Prism is around, so these Adepts, they will take damage, but they will not be killed. And Sue has a really good idea of what's going on right now. Catching these in the middle of the map, and actually even delaying the Warp in on that Warp Prism is going to be helpful. But Creator does have a Dark Shrine behind this, so this is a little bit of a different take on what we usually see from a 4-gate Adept play. And I was going to say, that pylon doesn't look like it's blocking all the way.
Yeah, I think he had to double that up in order to plug that entrance up. So yeah, 4-gate Adept play. He's going to be able to snipe this Roach. Oh, I guess not. He's going to get away.
Barely getting away. Now this is going to be the 4 DT Warp in, but there's already a Spore Crawler here in the main base. The Adepts are going to try and find some damage here at the third. Already picking off 2 drones. Adepts coming in. They're focusing down the Spore. Quarter health right now. A little bit more transfuse left in the bag, but that's going to go down. And this is looking really good for Creator, actually. Kind of catching Sue with his pants down. These DTs are doing work. 13 drones going down.
Yeah, this is an insane amount of damage. The counterattack's coming, but he's already plugged that up again. And I mean, the Spore's going to come over here. We'll see how quickly he can try to target this thing down, but he can also just rotate around it and away from it. And I mean, one Spore isn't going to fix this anytime soon. And he's got more DTs, dude. This is brutal. We actually may see Su tap out here.
We might.
I think these 7 Lings are not going to do that much.
The supplies don't really tell the whole story right now because Su's only on 26 drones, and he was on, I think, 22 a moment ago, so he's frantically trying to get up. But now on 2-base versus 2-base, Creator is starting Immortal production back at home. Getting some counter damage, though, is Su with these Lings. 5, 6 probes going down, and that helps a lot. This is actually more than I thought he was going to get.
Yeah, that was a surprisingly high number to get. He's going to basically throw everything at him. No, he's going to pull back now.
I don't think he has an Overseer. I don't think he has a lair, so he can't really move out on the map.
You're right. I mean, there's no real...
That's going to be it.
Creator with a very technical takedown. I felt like I honestly, guys, I was kind of planning for a longer game. I'm sorry. I was trying to build the story here. Let me talk about that build for a second. You know, when you go 4-gate Adept, Zerk can hold it. It's not that easy, but they can also cut corners when they do it, and I think that's what makes the DTs so strong, is that you get blindsided by that. It sets up to look one way, and then you get hit. You know, as Glaives finish, you're just focused on stopping the Adepts. There was a Spore as sort of a safety mechanism, but it wasn't guarded. So the DTs came in, and that basically won the game.
The Spore was almost positioned to kind of shut down a Warp Prism coming in from dropping in Adepts or warping in more Adepts.
Right.
And because of that, it was on the edge. On the edge of the base, the GTs just waltz on up and they mow it down. Didn't have enough transfuse, and Creator with a really nice technical win there, taking game number 1.
Yeah, we're already going now into game number 2 on State's favorite restaurant, Inside Out Burger. Let's go. How long was that last game? For like 6 minutes or something?
6 minutes, you can get a burger and leave. In and out, man. It's quick.
Team NV, Creator. Guangdong Freaks, Su.
So, good planning here from Creator.
I like that.
And, you know, he seems to have really bolstered both his planning and execution overall here in this year. Obviously, he had that in Season 1 or wouldn't have gotten that far. Oh, look at this. Nice drawing. All that runner up. It's true.
Like those mutas. Is that a Phoenix? Those drawings are really cute, man.
Yeah.
I liked the build that we saw from Creator there in game number 1 because kind of going for the DT mix-in there with the depths is not something that you see super often because it's really hit or miss, right? If Su had roaches or lings in the main base to protect the Spore Crawler, I mean, he had like 3 or 4 transfuses. If those DTs got shut down, it's a totally different game.
Oh, we would probably still right now be casting Creator, slowly losing the game from there, not being able to leave his base.
That's right, but Creator kind of going with his instinct there and going for the throat with a pretty killer build. You know, when we saw the Dark Shrine for a moment, I was thinking it might be, you know, kind of like an Adept feign into like an Archon drop or something like that and then play for the longer game, but just going in with the DTs, picks up the kill. Those kind of wins in a best-of-3 series, you start a game off like that, and you're feeling pretty good because now the map it's kind of wide open for Creator. He can really do anything these next 2 games.
Yeah, and you know, that's not something you do every game, right? A play like that. That's very specifically like a build order you inject somewhere in a series. So it doesn't give Su any further intel on like how Creator's approaching this on kind of a macro meta level.
It's also helpful because if Creator does succeed, he might be playing RagnaroK later today. And so being able to mix up your builds like that and kind of keep Zergs on their toes, always good.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the Robo warping in now. And we want to see in a little bit here what exactly the tech is going to be. I don't know that Sue is going to be inclined to try to do anything aggressive or cheesy. Every once in a while he'll do an all-in, but he seems to be a really solid mid-game player, and he wants to kind of look for fights when not too much of the map is taken on either side.
Yeah, and he actually gets a Zergling here in the main base of Creator for a full scout. So
that's pretty bad for Creator, man.
It is, because Sue seeing this, no Twilight Council, just a Robo, I believe one gateway down at the natural ramp, and Creator gets a scout in on his own, but for Sue, he has a very good idea of what Creator's potential is in terms of attacking right now, and he knows that he's kind of free just to drone up. But the follow-up for Creator is actually going to be a Robo Bay and a Warp Prism, so...
Oh, okay. Now, when I see this, I always wonder if that was, like, always the plan, or if this is, like, you know, when Protoss gets scouted, they're like, oh, well, I can probably do, like, the plan C, like the weirder tech build.
I think in this case, it kind of has to be, right? Because if it was going to be something with the Twilight Council, the Twilight Order would have been down.
Yeah.
And we don't really see, like, four-gate Robo with a Prism getting anything done. It's usually going to be with Adept Glaives like we saw in the previous game. So you have to think that this is something that Creator's not really doing on a whim. This is something that he's planned, that he's practiced, and it's going to be a Disruptor drop, it looks like.
So we've had this in a couple games.
Prism speed, too.
Yeah, it's basically like a really powerful push. The timing of itself is already strong, but I think the real way that you can leverage this is with your control. I mean, if you get a couple of Disruptor shots, it's basically like the old Dragoon Reaver push in StarCraft 1. And it's funny because I remember when you know, the Disruptor first came into the game, and Legacy of the Void's been out forever now, by the way, guys. But
it's like half of StarCraft's history, if not more.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. But like when that came out, I remember thinking, oh, they put the Reaver in the game, but then it didn't seem like it was used like that.
No,
with the Warp
it's
Prism
very
and Mud.
different.
And now here we are, and it is kind of used like that.
All right, so Creator taking a third base now. Battery going down as well, and he hasn't stopped pro production.
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
a pretty good hit. 4 drones.
And this is a good setup. I thought it was going to be a 2-base push. I was wrong. I guess it's actually going to be just a harass into third base.
I was thinking it might be that too, and the response for Sue here is going to be Aspire, which if you want to chase down a Speed Warp Prism, that's pretty much the only way.
Yeah, well, this takes away the freedom the Warp Prism gives the Protoss. You know, the Protoss has all the liberty in the world to basically just, you know, look for opportunities to get damage and then run away when things get uncomfortable.
At the same time, though, this does pave the way for a potential future timing for Creator, because you see now he's getting his Twilight Council going, starting +1 weapons, he's switching into Colossus, and Sue, if he goes really heavy on the Mutalisk, most of his ground RB is probably going to be like Roach Ling, emphasis on the Ling.
Yeah.
And if Creator hits like a really sick timing with like 1 Colossus, maybe even 2, +1 weapons and Blink Stalkers, that has kill potential. So we'll see if the game decides to go that way. I think a lot of it comes down to how much Sue's going to commit on the Spire, because this could also just be to, you know, spend like 500 minerals and 500 gas to kill that Prism.
Sure.
One more drone going down.
Yeah, it does manage to get that out. Despite that being like fully surrounded, taking all that damage, it does get away here.
All right, 6 mutas. Okay.
But I think the Warp Prism's just going to be sent back, and this is going to be used to kind of facilitate reinforcements and probably micro-juggling with the Warp Prism itself. So he's going to push up here towards 12, I think, or is he going to try to wedge his way through this little narrow valley?
I would think that he's going to go to 12, but I'm wondering, do we know if he saw the Spire? I didn't quite catch if he did.
Oh, I think he did, but...
Yeah, he's building a pylon in the middle of the map. I think he identifies that there's going to be a window here to potentially get damage. And yeah, he's cut probes at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he stopped entirely. And, you know, the cannon, it's going to cost a lot of time here.
Yeah, it's going to be +1 blink. And
kind of an odd move there by Creator. He, like, sort of shoved out and then force fielded and then ran away from his own force field.
Yeah, this is dangerous place to push in. That first Disruptor shot kind of whips, and the Warp Prism isn't here to pick it off, but luckily Creator's going to be able to retreat back on this bridge. Losing that Disruptor could be really problematic. He's got to keep that alive because Sue is wisely kind of focusing on the Roach Ravager side of his army right now. I feel like if he was focusing too much on Lings, that could be really problematic for him, but the composition that he has right now with only 1 Disruptor, that Colossus isn't going to get too much damage in. It's a tough fight for Creator, and he might not be able to push and get some damage in, but wait. Oh, that's a huge
Oh my
hit! That's
God.
maximum damage with that Disruptor. That completely changes everything. What a tremendous shot there by Creator. Oh,
Yeah,
so many
that was-
roaches going down.
That was sick. The question is that going to be enough, though? I mean, Sue seems to be pretty comfortable right now. And honestly, I mean, you know, these attacks, these pushes, they don't really mean that much if you're not killing the hatchery or delaying expansions. Oh, can he get this out? Oh my God, they
He
just go,
missed it.
they go right by each other. So, you know, he's not going to keep making any more mutas here. The mutas are basically like enough to counter the Warp Prism. Zerg's going heavy into tech on the ground. I think we saw Hydra Den just start before the tab changed. But Zerg doesn't have a 5th base yet. Yeah, this is a game where they're both really powering quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be going into a timing anytime soon. Instead, just kind of building up his Creator. I say that and he starts moving towards 12 again.
Well, he's going to do a little bit of both, right? He's going to take this base at 9 o'clock and then try to inch in. I'm always surprised when I see players push in between that center area towards the Zerg, that little valley with the rocks there.
I was surprised by that too. It doesn't seem like the angle you would really want to move in,
well,
especially
it's
with
like, I don't know what you're going to accomplish there, right? I guess if you can get in between all the rally points, that's great, and then kind of wait it out.
Is it though? Because then like they come in with reinforcements and they already have a surround pretty much.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I guess if you were to win that fight, then they wouldn't be disjointed. You could pick your fight somewhere else. But yeah, anyways, I'm always surprised to see it because I don't feel like we have that much success on it.
I'm surprised by that as well. I really thought the move was going to be, you know, come in at 12, you have 3 sentries, you got maybe 4 or 5 force fields in the bag, you can sequester off any reinforcements coming in and just snipe the base. But, you know, as we continue to build up on both sides, I'm really liking the army that Creator is putting together, especially now that he's getting the Templar Archives, because, all right, Sue now going for Lurkers and Vipers. He really needs these if he's going to contest with the force that Creator's mustering now, because this Protoss army, if these two guys go head-to-head, right this second, I'm pretty sure Creator wins pretty convincingly.
Well, you know, the other thing too is that Sue hasn't taken enough of the map to basically allow himself to trade out effectively. Like, if Creator wins one big engage and stays ahead, what is to stop him from then going and killing off even just one base, and Sue's probably going to lose the game.
That's a good point, especially with Sue only having gas tank like 150 now. That's largely because he just pumped a bunch of Lurkers, but yeah, the Remax potential isn't really great for either of these players right now, and Creator's been doing a fantastic job of keeping the creep under control. He's really fixating on this center spot on the map, and Stu hasn't really been able to push the creep timbers past that bridge. And
What?
Huh. All right.
What? What was that? Oh, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I guess he wanted to open up supply. Maybe it's up for supply.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was thinking he could like snipe the hatchery and then
I don't
blink
know
and
what
recall
that
away
was.
or something. But
He like left 5 there, and I don't know, man.
we're like attacking the hatchery, not drones.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no matter how you cut it, I'm like, well, that can't be the right play. So, he's going to try to micro this away as best he can. There is a 5th base being taken now at 6 o'clock.
Creator actually outpacing Stu a little bit with the expansions here.
You know what this looks a little bit like? It's kind of like when Hero, what he would do earlier on in the game, where he kind of run around with some stalkers and just try to trade out and run away.
Yeah, the last few minutes certainly kind of had that vibe, haven't they?
And I mean, Sue's now taking his 5th over at 3. But I guess neither side wanted to really attack into each other. So we're seeing these little scuffles where they're basically taking the units that aren't as valuable later on and trying to just get some value out of them and then rebuild the main maxed out army a little bit differently. Like we see Templars coming in now and Storm about to finish.
Creator is building a pretty powerful army now, too. 2 Immortals in production at a time, so he's got that second Robo. Switching into Stargate and getting +3 weapons, and ooh, not able to get that Viper. Oh, he's going for it! Look at that blink. I don't know if that's a good trade. It's like 10 stalkers for a Viper, but I suppose every bit helps.
I'm not really sure what happened with this game here. It seemed like we were kind of building up to something, and then it just never came. Instead, we're just seeing these weird engagements.
Where's Creator's army?
I do not know.
I'm so confused by what he's at 130
supply. So it went somewhere.
I feel like he's had like all these little segments of his army on different spots of the map, and every single one just got stomped at like 30 seconds.
Did he just lose this game?
I think he did. Like, he's at 120 supply. He's got no units left.
Sometimes production goes to a highlight or a replay somewhere if we really missed something. I feel like we saw little scuffles, but I don't know where like 50 supply suddenly went here.
Well, he let out like 12 stalkers there in the middle, and then we caught a glimpse of a couple of units kind of running through mid into lurkers on like a move command that got taken out, and
yeah.
Then Creator lost another fight over at his third base. Yeah, things kind of fell apart really quick for him. Not what you want to see. So I was looking at the production tab, and I'm like, oh, well, this army that Creator is building seems pretty good. He's getting his storm up, he's getting +3 weapons, he's got a high stalker count, he's got disruptors, but oh yeah, this has not been a good couple of minutes here for Creator, man.
I do feel like Sue's just probably going to close this out.
I think you're right.
I feel like this is one of the hardest games to explain what exactly went down in. Yeah, this should be the end here. I mean, these Immortals are pretty much everything that the Protoss has, and you know, the Hydras and the Lurkers can clean this up. Immortals never really good at retreating.
It's the kind of game I want to go back into the replay and just kind of take a gander.
Yeah, it's just an odd game, right? And it felt like we were getting ready to go somewhere, and then I don't know, everything just deteriorated.
I didn't think that either of these guys had a chance of really ending the game.
GG.
But Sue's going to take it, and that's going to bring us to map number 3.
I don't know, man.
Huh?
That's just a weird game. I do put a little bit of the blame here on Creator for that. I think Sue played fine. Sue was basically back and waiting and trying to take a fight, and it seemed like Creator had this idea of maybe sending a couple stalkers out. But I don't know, man. Suddenly he had 130 supply.
I don't think it was a bad idea, you know, moving around the middle of the map with stalkers, but the way that he had these little sections of his army split off from each other, and then kind of the dominoes fell where they were just all one after another taken out.
Yeah.
You can't have that happen. You can't lose those chunks of your army, because you actually do need your full force back at home to defend that push with Lurkers and Vipers. Otherwise, you don't have a chance.
We're going to Cosmic Sapphire for map number 3. Sue does recover after that humiliating defeat on map 1. Creator in game 2 looking strong, at least up into the mid game, but then completely fell apart. Seemed almost paralyzed as far as what he was going to do or what his plans were, and Sue just took him out, man. So this is going to be it for these two, at least for now, in Group D, as we're going to decide the winner and the loser of Creator versus Sue.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say, I can do this all day. There's nothing I
Team NV, Creator. Guangdong Freaks, Sue.
So I hope we have a different game from that last one.
It seemed pretty good up until the mid game, as you said.
Also, let's not forget, as much as we could talk about the late game there was a Ling that got into the main and scouted.
That's true.
You can't let that happen. I mean, that could really be like a butterfly effect moment where, this one thing happens and it changes the entire trajectory of the game, from the tech, to the way he expanded, to, anything he might have tried to fake him out. You really just can't let that happen as Protoss. You can't let them scout you.
Especially in PvZ of all matchups.
Because Zerg almost always have an answer to what Protoss is doing. The advantage Protoss has is that, they have a whole bunch of different hands they can try to play and can try to hide it.
Now, the problem for Zerg is really kind of eliminating those possibilities one by one if you don't get that scout.
Yeah.
And playing just safe enough that you can kind of defend everything if you need to.
Yeah.
And then as you gather more intelligence, more information as the Zerg, whether that be through scouting or by seeing, the opponent's army composition or something to that effect, then eventually you're able to kind of eliminate the possibilities that your opponent has and really hone in on exactly what drone count you're able to get away with.
Right.
And then getting that Ling into the main base, as you said, kind of eliminates a lot of possibilities. It's not going to be an Oracle coming in. You see, it's just a Robo. There's no Twilight. Nobody proxies a Twilight Council for like Adept Glaives with, with that kind of build. And so, yeah, that gave Su a lot of breathing room. He was able to drone up, have peace of mind, and, you know, Creator did get one good Disruptor hit. I think he got 4 drones there at the third base of Su, which is more than we usually see Protoss players get, but it doesn't make up for how much liberty he really gave Su there in the early game. So, yeah, Creator was kind of playing that one on the back foot, and he still looked strong until the mid game, up until things kind of fell apart for him.
So we've got a Stargate this time around. So obviously, you know, the game's already taken a very different direction from what we had earlier. And you know, when we saw Hero with his Stalker Oracle play, it did open up a little bit like this. We'll see if it's going to be like that this time around. This is an extremely big map. You could expand pretty far in both directions from your starting spawn point.
Looks like it's 6 bases until you really have to contend, you know, go into the corners. So there is potential for this to be a long one. Creator going for a Oracle opening here. 2 Adepts on the map right now.
Yeah, it's a slow start for sure with these two. And it probably will remain that way unless somebody really decides to pull the trigger here.
Right, and the way that Creator is kind of building up back at home, especially now that he starts the Void Ray, are we going to see kind of a older
I think we are.
PvZ Skytoss style, do you think?
Yeah. Not that you can't play like this, but this was definitely more popular last year and the year before, which is basically, you know, the Void Ray, and we do need to watch and see if he makes more than one as well, because the Void Ray, it's a powerful addition to your tech that does still leave the Zerg asking questions while clearing out, you know, scouts and stuff like that. But we
second Stargate already.
Okay, so that was, I was going to try to lead into this. Sometimes people get 1 Stargate and then they power up onto something else. In this case, he's going to actually get a 2nd Stargate, and we'll see maybe even a 3rd and do some kind of an air tech.
Hey, he's going into Phoenixes now. Huh. All right, so a very different game than what we saw in the previous 2. The Phoenix transition also is something that can really catch the Zerg player off guard if they're not prepared for it, and we'll see if Su's defense is going to be ready. Oracle coming in now. I believe it's only picked off 3 drones so far, not able to get a 4th. As Su's defense, even without Spore Crawlers, has been fantastic so far.
Almost lost that that Oracle too, by the way. I mean, it can't really take
he does lose it.
Oh, man.
Su brings his queen almost off creep to take that down. And
now let's not forget, man, Creator, I mean, this guy does tilt sometimes. It's been his enemy in the past. In this game, and you know, honestly, when I saw the Void Ray, I was thinking, is he going to make a couple more Voids? But he's actually gone into Phoenixes in pairs, which is interesting.
Yeah, and he's banking them. He's got 3 at home right now. And the question I'm asking is, when is he actually going to move out on the map with these? Because you don't want to wait too long. 7, I think, would be the absolute maximum, but it wouldn't surprise me if he comes out with 5, right? Yeah, okay, it's going to be 5. See him moving across on the mini-map now. And one thing I'm not so sure about is what the queen count is back at home for Su. Because I think he has 1 Spore Crawler at each base, but 5 Phoenixes, you can kill queens in 1 lift. Oh, that's a lot of queens. Yeah, you're not going to be killing many queens in 1 lift. All right.
Stay away from that.
Never mind. Question answered. The Hydralisk Den going down for Su as well. So maybe he caught wind of this, or he just knows after seeing the Void Ray that, you know, Creator is kind of going to, the player that's inclined to go for this kind of style. Because all these queens plus Hydralisks is really the ideal early game composition here against what Creator is building.
Well, what do you think about the Phoenixes here? I don't feel like this is really doing very much.
Well, Su is well prepared for this. I mean, this is the kind of play that has the potential, if it catches Zerg a little bit unaware, to get huge damage in. I mean, right now he's already gotten 9 drones, 10 drones, 11 drones. I feel like the count from Sesame Street right now. But like, this is not bad damage. It equalizes the worker count. And again, this isn't really ideal either. That was a lot of queens there for Su, and he's well protected against this. So it's the kind of play that, you know, can have a potential high payoff, but as things are right now, it's a little bit dicey because Su, with all the anti-air that he's got, plus going into Hydralisk this early, Could open up some potential timings.
Okay, nice. He does get some overlords there.
And he's getting a lot now.
It's the damage is starting to really add up here. For a little bit, it looked like this wasn't going to do anything for a while. But he's picked off overlords. He's picked off drones. But whenever you see someone mass up Phoenixes like this, you got to remember that it didn't come without sacrifice. I mean, this could have been a ground army. It could have been Robotech. And so the question really is, how much damage did the harass do? And did it do enough that the follow-up push can be, in some ways, the closer here of the game?
I think in this case, it pretty much solidified a late game.
Yeah.
Because it's bought him enough time. You see Sue is kind of stuck back at home there with his Hydralisks and his Queens, and doesn't have a lot of freedom to move out on the map, and as a result is going for Lurkers now. He's going for Hive. He's getting all of his upgrades, taking a 4th base, playing that longer game. Meanwhile, Creator, if I'm not mistaken, going up to 4 Stargates, now has Templars out, and he's looking pretty solid. I've got to say, this composition that he's building is pretty good.
Okay. He is going to come out here and look for a fight.
Sue right now has 16 Hydras and 8 Lings. Besides that, just drones and Queens. That is not enough to stop this push.
No, it's not. And he's going to try to counterattack, but he's already plugged up that entrance here. And look at this. The Protoss wants to go for a fight here.
Yeah, Sue is not ready for this. This is potential that even end the game right now. It's just a lot of damage coming in. This 3rd base now for Sue taking huge hits. 2 more Archons being morphed in. Here we go. Creator coming in, lifting Queens and Hydras.
Yeah, stutter step micro forward here from the Protoss. So much damage here from these Archons. I don't think there's any way that Sue can live through this.
No, Sue just didn't have enough. He teched too quickly, played too greedily, and Creator's just going to leverage this army advantage to get huge damage done. The worker count's equalized, and I think that Warp Prism is still up. It is. I don't see any way that Sue's going to stabilize from this, man. It's looking like GG.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any road to recovery here. Sue just got smashed by the timing. The harass from the Phoenixes was enough, and then the follow-up was just too much. Pretty masterful game here from Creator. He had a bumpy start by losing the Oracle early on, but clearly he hit all of his marks, and there you go, GG. First best of 3 of Group D going to Creator. 2-1 versus Sue.
That was a fantastic timing there by Creator. I mean, he really paved himself a path to the late game, but he didn't even need it. He just had the whereabouts to realize, oh, Sue is kind of overplaying his hand. He's playing this greed card too heavily. I can just go check this greed and kill him.
And to pursue him all the way to the natural too, not to just kind of dive on the hatchery and run away and expand, but to say, no, let me just take out the core of what he's got. Let me fight the Hydras. Let me kill the Queens. And Sue is now in the loser's match. Again, still able to hang, I think, with Creator here. We saw that in Game 2, but honestly, Creator is the better player. Guys, up next, TVZ, Ryung versus RagnaroK. We're going to go to that after this short break.
Baby, we can go somewhere. We can get away from here. Pick a different atmosphere. Go to outer space and then fall in love with aliens. Leave the human race down there. Please don't be afraid, darling. Even if the stars are falling. Baby, you're a satellite like Aphrodite. You'll be a god. Offer you a sacrifice, we'll build an army. You'll be in charge. We'll get lost in Jupiter's halo, my love. Mission control is radioing to return. But when we touch down, it's like when we touch down, it's like baby, we can go somewhere. We can get away from here. Beam us up, we'll disappear to a different place where all the stars above are radiant. Dancing in the rain again. Spell for them, and Venus is the name we're calling. Cause baby, you're a satellite like Aphrodite. You'll be a god. Offer you a sacrifice, we'll build an army. You'll be in charge. We'll get lost in Jupiter's halo, my love. Mission control is radioing to return. When we touch down, it's like when we touch down, it's like when we touch down, we'll get lost in Jupiter's halo, my love. When we touch down, in control is radioing to return. When we touch down, if our love is in danger, I'll show you the way to my heart. Where the powers of civilization won't tear us apart. When we touch down, it's like when we touch down, it's like when we touch down, it's like tell me that you love me.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody love the drop when I'm in it. Everybody love the drop when I'm in it. I've been coming up hot for a minute.
Some say that zero. 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life. 없어도 되는 건 빼고 실성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탕 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침엔 라떼, 홀릭 점심엔 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody love the drop when I'm in it. Everybody love the drop when I'm in it. I've been coming up hot for a minute.
Some say that zero. 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life. 없어도 되는 건 빼고 실성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탕 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침엔 라떼, 홀릭 점심엔 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
Today's matchup. Creator. Sue. Ryung. RagnaroK. Round of 20. Group D. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
We're back, everybody. It's time to go to the next matchup. Ryung versus RagnaroK is what we're going to cast for you all. TVZ here. I think this could be a pretty epic one, unless RagnaroK does do something where he decides to end it right away. RagnaroK occasionally gets cheesy, sometimes almost predictably so. Ryung, look, this year he's had some games where he looks so good it's crazy, and then he'll have other games where he just doesn't seem to be that up to date, or he has the same pitfalls in his play that he had in the past.
Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of Gumiho in that regard, where sometimes it feels like he's really on and he's unstoppable. He's like the king of the world, and other times just falls flat. So we'll see what Ryung shows up today. Hopefully a good one, because this group, man, it's shaping up to be really competitive. I mean,
Yeah.
It's also one of the groups we got, Terran, Protoss, and Zerg, a little bit of everything. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice mix of play styles and players for each race here. Ryung, it's good to see that he's kind of back in GSL now as a regular here. He wasn't always, he kind of was here and then was gone for a while. The RagnaroK, this guy's a down and dirty Zerg man. He's not afraid to do weird stuff in games either.
He's been that way for a long time, too.
Yeah.
I remember playing against him years
Well,
and years ago and
funny-
just getting smacked around in really humiliating ways.
Oh yeah, well he's got this style. I always wonder with players like this, like how long can you do this for? Because when you gain a reputation for being kind of tricky early on, people just really try to figure out what you're up to and then counter it. But so far he's still been able to pull it off.
Some people can make it work.
Yeah, and he seems to be one of them. We're going to see how Ryung deals with him coming up here. We're going to go to map number 1 now. On Waterfall in this best of 3. Remember, the winner goes on to face off against Creator. The loser up against Sue.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day. There's no
Team GP, Ryung.
Uh-oh. We have a pause
Ooh.
requested here from Ryung. PP. That's what you type in
It is.
before you pause the game.
Has it always been PP? Was
always
it
been PP.
PPP at some point? Like way back
Oh.
in the day?
It might have been PPP. I think it was some rule that Kespa had in his Brood
That's what
War
I'm
back
thinking
in the
of.
day. And I know some player got in trouble because it was either like 3, he'd put 2 when he was supposed to put 3, or
Yeah,
he put 3
yeah.
when he was supposed to be 2 or something.
Oh, it's probably a sound problem.
Sound issue.
Yeah,
He's like, what is
JKS.
this? Is this the headset Creator used last season? What are we doing? Just now, whatever the issue is, I'm sure we'll get it resolved shortly here.
That's a Creator use.
So,
If I was a pro gamer, that's what I would say. I'm like, this is imagine coming out of the studio. I'm sure we'll get that resolved pretty soon.
So I think
So funny.
the way that we have the sound set up so the players can't hear anything is we pipe in white noise,
Yeah.
and then we have noise canceling headsets over that.
that white noise is loud, man. I've been in
It's
that
trippy.
booth. It's
Yeah, it's funny because like we just did Tase's LAN party. We got another one coming up, by the way, guys, in like 2 months or something. But like, yeah, I like running my own little mini event. We had to like look in. Okay, how do they actually do that? I always knew that they couldn't hear anything. But yeah, I put it on and like try to play a game of StarCraft with the white noise going in there. You actually can't hear anything.
no, it's tough to hear like
It's crazy.
your own thoughts at times. Like the white noise gets crazy loud.
It's like you're playing StarCraft, but you're in an airplane and your ears are plugged. Yeah,
It's very
you
accurate.
know, and you can like kind of hear stuff, but yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what the issue with that sound was. He did some hand motion that maybe he could like hear. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's hard to say,
I
but
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm even trying to pretend like I know. I'm like, from his hand motion, I think it's clear that he could hear what we were saying. I have no idea.
It's like
I
an
don't
MLB.
even know what. Sometimes this happens when you're casting, where you just start to go down some path. You're explaining something. You're like, I don't know the answer to this. I don't know why. Why am I talking about this?
It's me every time I cast a non-Protoss matchup, man.
That's a thing that a lot of pros experience when they start to cast. I remember when we started doing big events, like globally, like MLGs and IPLs and everything the ESL had put on. Like you'd be working. Well, I would be working with these pros where like these were like the best in the world. They're like, I will only cast my race.
I was the same way at
Yeah,
Home
they
Story
all
Cup.
pros
yeah.
are like this, and it's like, yeah, no, you're not going to do that. You got to just cast all of them. And
I think it's
because you know that you don't know.
exactly. That's
I
exactly
get
what
that.
I was going to say.
I get that, but then it's like, but you have to have something to say, right? You got to. It is. It's not a cast for just the best of the best, right? It's got to be
True.
for the nubbins, the noobs, the new people.
I gotta say though,
Yeah.
like sometimes we'll cast like a TVT, like we did on Monday, and I had like an out-of-body experience trying to like understand like what trades were happening and who was getting an advantage. I'm like, I just don't know. Like I'm I'm so out of my depth in this matchup that it's hard to read.
It's tricky, man.
So good to have an audience down here again.
Yeah, it's nice seeing people come in here. We've got the regulars that come by the studio from time to time, and then we've got, people who come in here traveling, visiting, tourists who have, it's their first time here. They've been following StarCraft events for, over a decade or two. It's nice, man. It gives me energy, too, to have an audience out here. It was weird during the pandemic casting to, like, nobody. I know I talk about this a lot. I'm sorry. I'm still actually excited to have an audience.
Yeah.
And this game's paused, and I got to talk about something. So this is one of my safety things I talk about when I get uncomfortable. So yeah, man. Hopefully they get this resolved.
Yeah, I
so how about this pause, huh?
I can see the admins ready to ask the players if they're ready. So hopefully we get this sorted pretty soon, as we see Ryung still trying to sort it out. It seems like I'm gonna try to go down the rabbit hole of like the hand gestures now. It looks like it's like maybe like the white noise stopped or something. I don't know. Like with him, like he's like kind of like on this and he's like gesturing at like these guys.
Yeah, it could be. But
I don't know.
I don't know what they use for GSL, but on YouTube they actually have just like it's like 10 hours of white noise, and you can click on that and use that.
This is something with me that like if I'm trying to go to sleep, I need noise. I need like a fan or something, and if I don't have it, I will like fixate on like hearing a car outside my window or something.
Oh,
and I just cannot sleep. So yeah, I'm like Spotify has those too, man. I go down like look at like brown noise or white noise on like Spotify, and like that's what I need to go to bed.
Oh, they have that
sometimes.
on Spotify. Oh,
yeah.
I bet I could use that because I have a little machine next to my bed, and like you hit like buttons and it has like water like at a creek.
It's like a tape player, like
yeah, it's
living in like the 1990s.
Like when it gets all the way to the A side, I got to open up and turn on to the B side. I'm like, all right, now
like
I'm ready to go to bed.
Or something.
No, I have like a machine. My girlfriend bought it for me because like I have tons of problems just falling asleep in general. Like that you're like, what is it? A third of your life you sleep, they say.
For me, it's like half my life, man. I sleep so much.
No, I feel like it's a fourth of my life I sleep, and then there's like maybe a sixth of my life is spent laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about my own death while I try to fall asleep. Yeah, just letting existential dread wash over me. But I did find when I get a white noise machine, that kind of like calms my brain down, and I can kind of doze off the bed. But then my girlfriend got one that had like 15 different tracks, and like every night she would put on a different one, and I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah,
like,
I can't do that.
Yeah,
it's the same with me.
I'm like, I don't need to hear like the waves.
Or like whales.
Whale sounds.
Callings.
Yeah. Or if it's like stuff like the whale sounds, I'm like, wait a minute, this is whales in a 3-minute loop. Like I heard that whale earlier.
It's the same whale.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the same whale. How much should we spend on this piece of shit? This is a 3-minute recording of whales.
All right. We are back into the game now.
Expect at least an hour, 2 hours with my insomnia.
It's funny, too, because like, I've definitely noticed the same kind of thing when like I listen to some of those tracks before. I've done like the rainforest sounds before, and it's like it's definitely like a 5-minute loop. It's like playing for like 90 minutes.
No, they've never left that recorder on in the rainforest for long enough to put me to bed. I'm like, I think I heard the same howler monkey in there earlier.
Howler monkey. All right.
I feel like it's always weird when these pauses happen, but then we like hit a stride, and then the game comes on. I'm like, all right, well, never mind.
I want to talk about white noise.
Let's talk about white noise machine. There's a decent number of people that watch this show to go to bed.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you were talking about existential dread, I'm like, there's at least one viewer that was like having existential dread at home. It's like, you know what? I can deal with this by distracting myself with GSL.
Like, he lays in bed. He's like, I'm going to die and be erased. I better turn on GSL.
And then he turns it on and we're talking about it.
Then we're talking about it. And then he just eventually falls asleep and has nightmares where he's like, we're talking to him, but he's also naked in his middle school failing a test.
Good times. All right, so Ryung actually didn't go for CC first, which I was kind of hoping that he might, because If you guys missed one of these TVZ groups that we had earlier in this season, there were like
Yeah.
4 TVZs in a row, which was like basically the same game every single time.
That's right.
CC first into a 2-base all-in with a little bit of like different spice each time, but seemed deadly. Ryung instead going for the Reaper expand, putting down that factory. And I really did feel like we were like hitting a stride there for a moment.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Now, with this, you know, again, we talked about this earlier. RagnaroK really likes to be deceptive almost always in every game, whether that's like a weird tack or a nidus or something. So we want to watch for that.
So far this game, just kind of playing standard though. Going for that third hatch. Nice and quick. Pretty much about as standard as it gets. And actually a third CC going down for Ryung.
Okay, so he's kind of going with that innovation style that we've seen before. Very straightforward. It doesn't offer a lot as far as like trickiness, which builds don't have to, by the way. But instead, it's basically set up to be like, okay, can you just hit all your marks? Can you macro properly? Good, then this is your build.
200 gas banked and a Roach Warren on the way.
All right.
Not standard after all.
No, not at all. So he's probably going to come in here and hit this pretty hard.
Yeah, and Ryung going for a 3CC build.
Well, that's
could be
when
in
you
trouble.
can be punished. It doesn't seem like the Reaper's going to find much, and the Reaper should be intercepted on the way down.
Now, I don't know if he's going to see the Roach Warren, and I'm quite sure he missed it, but if you're Ryung in that situation, I'm pretty sure you click on the Vespene Geyser and you see that RagnaroK is probably floating a ton of gas. And you got to have in the back of your mind that something like this is coming, and I'm sure these Hellions coming out here will confirm, as 11 Roaches now in production here for RagnaroK, as he is powering up for a big timing. These Hellions are getting a lot of value though, man, I gotta say.
Yeah, not bad.
That's half of RagnaroK's economy on hold for maybe 10, 15 seconds, plus delaying the Roaches, plus getting the full scout off, and we got Banshees on the way now for Ryung.
Yeah, Banshees with Cloak is always a good answer to any kind of Roach aggression here, because they just can't do anything to fight the Banshees at all.
It's similar to like DTs and PBZ, where it's like, oh, if you don't actually go up to lair, you can't kill me.
Yeah. You have to respect my attack and at least match it, basically.
We'll
now,
see.
That being said, I mean, the Banshee's not out yet, and the Roaches are already here.
Yeah, this is going to be a ton of damage coming in on Ryung, and even when the Banshees come out, they're going to kill these Roaches slowly, as we already have 6 SCVs down.
Now, behind this, he's making 10 drones.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of SCV kills, man. And keep in mind, he's wiped the ground army. Looks like he's not going to get that last Hellion here, but
That's a nice timing.
it's 34 SCVs to 61, and you know it's so good that RagnaroK knew exactly when to dial it back and go hard into drones, because all that RagnaroK has to do now to defend is to just parry the one Banshee with Cloak, or maybe 2, I think actually. Sorry.
Banshees with Cloak, and there's going to be like maybe 2 Hellions, and that's pretty much it. Besides that, like you said, he completely wiped the Terran ground army. The bio count is reset. No Marines after that push. So he has free reign to drone as much as he wants, and I like that build order selection out of him here in game number 1. That was smart.
Yeah, and it does seem like Ryung is going to land his 3rd CC regardless. I think this is a calculated risk that he just has to take, right? He's behind. He needs to start throwing mules at mineral patches, cranking SCVs, and just trying to step up production as best he can. Ryung is in an advantageous position here, having that worker lead. And I don't think Ryung's going to have that much of an impact here with these Banshees. I mean, he will get some workers no matter what, but you could already see one Banshee picked off and the other in the yellow, low energy, going to go hide up here in the top right.
Yeah, RagnaroK definitely does have the advantage right now in this game. And Ryung landing another mule, but RagnaroK, all these lings, he might not be aware of that 3rd base. I think if he was, there'd be a lot of dead SCVs over there, but instead just kind of posturing in front. I'm shocked he hasn't just like sent a ling or something. Maybe he's thinking like there's no way Ryung is ballsy enough to actually plant that CC.
This will happen to me in games where I'm playing and I'm like, no, that would be so stupid. He wouldn't do that. And then if I had looked, I could have killed it.
He saw
so
those
I think
SCVs.
He sees, the workers here.
That could have been a huge pickup though if he had gotten all 3 of those mules plus the handful of SCVs that were there already. So Ryung getting a little bit of a gimme there.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of a freebie, but, you know, Banes are going to come here. 1-1's on the way. I might be wrong. I don't feel like it should be that easy for the Terran to just have the third like that as it is. There's 2 tanks out, and really that's all you have to basically take out in order to force a lift off here.
We'll see now. RagnaroK's coming in, gunning for that mineral line again, but getting pushed back by these tanks and Marines. And Ryung, 1-1 is finishing now for him, and he's going to have a pretty sizable window where he has an upgrade advantage. But kind of the issue right now is he doesn't really have the army to leverage that. He's going to have to stay defensive back at home, maybe do a little bit of posturing on the map as he's moving out with just these 2 medevacs full of units and planning a 4 CC, so going for the long game.
So, I mean, the question now is going to be, you know, what damage can Ryung do here? RagnaroK's creep spread's pretty good. This is set up so the Terran can basically come in and come back out, although somehow that was a little bit miscontrolled. That was more damage than I was expecting.
And just a little bit more. The thing, though, Ryung with this fast 3rd CC is caught up quite heavily on the worker counts now. With mules, I mean, 75 versus 87 is not too bad a number, especially with that 4th CC underway. This game has the potential to go pretty long.
It seems like it. It does seem like RagnaroK got into a good spot, didn't do that much with it, and you know this 4th CC way out here, that does seem to be extremely fast. You know, but let's see if he can actually keep it.
One thing to keep an eye on is the creep spread for RagnaroK hasn't been that great considering how much free reign he had earlier in the game after that roach push.
You really want to pump that creep spread out a lot. I mean, that's the best thing. Creep spread is the best thing in the game.
It's the best thing in RTS.
It's the best thing in RTS as far as I can tell. I mean, just having that and having a highway where you could circulate units around is, you know, it's too good, man. Now, he is roaming with maybe a little bit too much, so he can't scoop up his entire army when it is in a bad spot. And, you know, we're starting to see the point in the game, even though mutas aren't out yet, and I don't even know, is there a spire that's been made? I don't think so. But regardless, the medevacs can't really land anywhere. It's like the floor is lava here. They can't touch the ground. And, you know, that's really showing that Zerg is going to be pretty comfortable here. And he's doing that all despite, you know, neglecting mutatech here.
Yeah, so Ryung is going to be able to get that 4th base up pretty much for free, though, because RagnaroK is kind of so on the back foot defending all of these drops that Ryung has been doing that he's not really been trying to delay any further expansion here for Ryung. So Ryung getting up to 4 bases is getting pretty close to that kind of critical mass that Terran needs to really start pumping a lot of Widow Mines and Ghosts and stuff like that later in the game. And even Center Tower is going down now. Planetary, they're at the 4th base for Ryung.
Looks like this hatchery should be picked off over here. And it seems that RagnaroK is going to go for a counter, but those tanks are way too well placed for him to do that.
Yeah, that counter a little bit ill-advised. He might be able to catch some of these Marines, but we'll see. That's a lot of Banelings, actually. That's more than I was expecting.
Yeah, the siege tanks are going to kill off quite a bit, but this is just such an overwhelming force. It's going to flatten anything that's there. Let's keep in mind, though, on this map, you know, it's shaped in a very specific way. It's taller than it is wide, and so Zerg ends up expanding further and further towards the Terran, which means even though this game should go on for a while longer, there's definitely going to be a strain on the Zerg and somewhat on the Terran as well, and holding any of these bases that are closer to that middle area.
Yeah, and really 5 bases is what Terran needs to kind of fully power up their full tech tree. And Ryung, despite losing that army there at the 5 o'clock, I'm still liking this because that wasn't a very favorable trade resource-wise there for RagnaroK. That was a lot of Banelings going down. He doesn't have too many high-tech units. He's just now getting his Hive. It's really just Thing Bane with a kind of low number of Hydralisks. And Ryung, with his tank count, with all these extra CCs, he has 3-3 on the way. He's getting vehicle weapons. He's getting Ghosts. He's building a very nuanced army, and as you said, RagnaroK's going to have to continue expanding towards him. Unless RagnaroK can quickly start finding more damage, I feel like he's going to really be in trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, he's bleeding off huge chunks of Banelings, and you can see the seesaw in action on the map here from Ryung is, again, I mean, we've seen a hatchery on the right tonight, now a hatchery on the left, and almost over here, another hatchery back on the right. It's funny, I didn't really appreciate it on this map as much, but it does seem like this map sort of accelerates CVT in that, the Zerg doesn't get to keep branching off into a corner of the map that Terran will just never be able to reach by pushing by ground.
Interesting that Ryung is actually going to forward with these medevacs. I thought he might retreat and go back home, but he really wants to keep RagnaroK on the back foot.
I think he was trying to bait stuff into going into the main. There's this whole cavity on this part of the map. You can see where the mountain is. So, like, if you don't have mutas, you can't get there, and you can't even see where the medevacs are. And so, and then you just basically use that as a pin to create an opportunity, and that's why he's able to push in here and get a deny on that base.
Yeah, RagnaroK now trying to deny that 5th base there for Ryung, and that's really got to be the linchpin of his strategy right now, is do not let Ryung get up to 5 bases, because with the composition that RagnaroK is building right now, if he doesn't, oh man. Oh, he might trade it out for the planetary.
Yeah, that's okay to do. Well, again, these are just not very efficient trades, are they?
The thing is, RagnaroK, with his economy, with as many bases as he has, his goal right now isn't to take efficient trades. His goal is to deny further mining from Ryung and basically just keep throwing armies at him until he runs out of money. So I actually, even though it wasn't cost effective, I love that decision by RagnaroK to go take that 4th base out, but hold that thought as Ryung is looking to do some counter damage of his own. Pushing out with his bio, no tanks. Oh, just one tank sieged here. Not a lot of splash damage. This is not looking good for Ryung, man.
Yeah, I think that Ryung maybe should have hung back a little bit after losing the CC.
I think so for sure.
And tried to drag out the game. Zerg, when they do throw everything at you, if they're in a macro game like this, they will have banked enough minerals and gas that a lot of times they can get a quick reset, quicker than Terran and Protoss can have because of the nature of the way that, larvae come out, and you can bank them. And so, yeah, I worry now that the game has seesawed back hugely into RagnaroK's favor. RagnaroK could just try to focus down that 6 o'clock base or maybe go somewhere else, but I think 6 o'clock is the base you want to go to if you're him.
And I'm feeling like he might be able to just wipe this. There's almost no splash damage to speak of for Ryung, just a couple of siege tanks and a couple of Widow Mines, and Gliding Clouds get 2 out of 3 of them. These trades are really good for RagnaroK. Keep in mind, he's on like 6, 7 bases right now.
Yeah,
Ryung definitely overstepped.
I think this, GG beat me to it. RagnaroK takes game 1. And I gotta say, man, Ryung had his moments, but clearly there were some poor decisions made there.
Yeah, that was kind of messy. I was really liking Ryung's position once he got on 4th base with the planetary, but if we went back to his army, and he had very little splash damage, if any. He had like a handful of tanks. He had almost no Widow Mines. It was just Bio and Ghost. And against the kind of composition that RagnaroK was playing there, like lean Baneling, you need really cost-efficient splash damage units to actually take those down. I mean, Ghosts are fantastic, but unless you're able to kill the Adrenal Lings, you're just going to take unfavorable trades.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, there's just not a lot you could do. I think Ryung had to stay turtled up and try to, make Ryung overextend a couple times. That's what I think Maru would have done.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, is how Maru usually plays it.
Where he basically makes the Zerg overspend and then they don't have anywhere to go. The Terran kind of quietly, seizes the last space on the map and wins. We're going to go now on data C. Right now, RagnaroK with a 1-0 lead over Ryung. And that map is loaded up. Let's go.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Team GP, Ryung. Alpha X, RagnaroK.
Okay.
It's time again.
It's time.
CC first, but RagnaroK is going pool first, man. That's some killer
instinct. It's a man after my own cheesy heart.
You knew we were going to see it after the TVZs we've had earlier in this season.
So, I feel like, we talk about this a lot, but we don't get to actually see it. You know, where you see CC first, and it's like, well, this is risky, but the other guy's just going hatch first. But this is a pool right away.
It's a pull right away. And this is something that I haven't seen too often. Specifically, you know, it go down like this. You got to think that like, RagnaroK's going to kill that CC, right? There's no way that goes up, right?
I mean, he should be
Barracks
set for
now.
a pretty big punish, but there's only 2 lings here.
Huh.
And this could be a different idea in that he like wants to get maybe some other tech out quickly here. But
yeah,
the Overlord's going to get there pretty fast and just see. You know,
I'm surprised it's only 2 lings. And the CC
well,
is at
I don't know
done.
I don't know what the build is exactly in this matchup to just punish the CC first. But yeah, I mean when you see pull first and then you see the other guy go command center first.
Yeah,
but it all depends on you can either make drones or you can make lings with the larva, right? And so we made more drones. So I don't know.
Yeah, here I was getting excited, but didn't see what timing the pool went down. I guess it wasn't a 12 pool because yeah, that CC is going to be done. And we've seen this build go 4-0 so far, I think, in this GSL season.
And a lot of the Terrans are talking about this is sort of the build to just kill Zergs if you're not confident in doing anything that's kind of safer or more normal.
Yeah, CC first and a 2-base all-in for Terran is like got to be some insane win rate in tournament games.
Seems like it.
That's certainly been the experience so far here in Season 3 of the GSL.
So I want to see how RagnaroK responds to this, because RagnaroK is not a guy, he's not like Dark or Rogue where like they'll be behind, but they'll kind of know how to cut corners on their side of the map and even it out. It does seem like RagnaroK's a guy who will just sort of try to propel the game into action every time.
He definitely has that kind of aggressive take.
Yeah, so I want to see what he does here. He's going to get here. He's going to know right away. Well, he already got there, but he knows right away, like, okay, this guy's massively cutting corners. He simply takes a third of his own and makes a Roach Warren.
Roach Warren's a little interesting to me after scouting 2 barracks. I'm like, he should know that this is going to be a 2-1-1 follow-up. At least that's what I would imagine he's thinking. So maybe just a safety Warren. Although he is pulling 300 gas again. Huh. RagnaroK's one of those Zergs where like you kind of watch him play and it leaves you guessing a little bit about what his next move is going to be because he's a little unpredictable with his aggressive tendencies.
For sure. From the Terrans perspective, if you guys saw the earlier groups, you kind of know what to be ready for,
roaches,
right?
Okay.
So, okay, this is interesting. 9 roaches coming here. I want to see if he's going to make a little bit more. 10. Now, couple thoughts here. Marines are not great against roaches until you have like a whole lot of them. Marines are basically not good until you get a high enough number. So maybe the answer is he just kills the depots. There's no bunker here, by the way.
No bunker yet.
But he just kills the entrance, and maybe you can just force a lift. I'm not sure. Because this is clearly a rush. It's not what we thought. I think both State and I looked at this and thought, all right, lings are going to come here fast.
It's quite similar to the previous game, even going for 9 drones behind this. So really just looking to get some damage in and potentially some SCV kills as RagnaroK. And Ryung right now, no tanks back at home, just Marines and medevacs. He does have Stim, which will help a lot. And he spots it. He sees the roaches. Man. Can you imagine if those went across the map?
If those were on the other side of the map here.
No bunker still. Let's see what these roaches are able to get done. He's just going to turn around. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking is like, yeah, Marines aren't great against roaches in small numbers, but this is 2 medevacs worth of Marines with Stim.
I don't get the roach play that much. There's this thing that happens to me when I cast where I'll see a pro do something that I didn't think about, and then I'll be like, oh, well, this must be for this, and then it doesn't happen at all, and I go, oh, well, then why did he do it? But yeah, I mean, the roaches didn't seem to do much. They can help defend, of course, but already I think that RagnaroK's in a pretty good spot here. I feel like this is probably going to be a 1-1 if I had to guess. And maybe RagnaroK realized he's behind, tried something similar to that last game, unaware of exactly the nuances of the timings, and thought maybe I can throw some roaches in here and just do some damage. But, with this build for Terran, the second command center really kicks the whole build into high gear very quickly.
It does, especially at this stage of the game, because at this point, all of that's paid off, You have a little bit more Marines, a little bit more money than you would otherwise, and Ryung is going to leverage that into a fast third CC yet again. So, similar play to the last game from him. Now powering up with 2 more barracks back at home, mixing in siege tanks as well. And I'm a little bit worried for RagnaroK because behind all of this, he's still only on 62 drones. He's making Ravagers now and Lings. I guess he's going to get aggressive. And kind of looking at this makes me think that perhaps his game plan is to just completely demolish the first army here for Ryung. But at the same time, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough units with such a low drone count.
Well, Roach Ravager's funny. And by the way, I thought Terran was going to have a committed push, like we saw
4 games in a row, TBZ.
4 games in a row. So suddenly the players' names are escaping me for some reason. But I thought we were going to have that, but instead, Ryung takes a third, and that may give some opportunities here to RagnaroK. Because normally we have the push coming out, we have the tanks ready. He's basically splitting the medevacs and trying to kind of cause distractions on either side here and clear out creep. And I mean, this is all fine. Even gets that score as an example over there. But
Ryung is just powering up so much, though. I mean, the upgrade advantage that he has right now, he already has 1-1. RagnaroK's 1-1 is not even halfway done at this point, and the composition that RagnaroK is building, like Roach, Ling, Ravager, it's not generally what you see Zergs go for in this matchup, unless you're going for some kind of timing, but it feels like we're past that stage in the game. Ryung is even throwing down the 4th CC now. He's getting his 2-2. His tank count's got to be pretty healthy back at home. He hasn't lost any on the map.
so the 5th base for Zerg is going to come. Funny to see Ryung's take on this, just because he gets the lead but then doesn't commit to the closer. He kind of gets the lead and I guess feels like it's, and I feel like this is wrong, but let's see how Ryung plays this out. Tries to just try to match the Zerg again by taking a third. Maybe the Roaches themselves kind of threw him off a little bit there.
Well, it certainly threw me off trying to cast it. It's
a
little unexpected. It's not a composition you usually see. And RagnaroK has, behind this, been able to get up to 79 drones. So this is about the healthy economy that you wanted a couple of minutes ago. So finally kicking into gear. But on paper, the armies here for Ryung seem really good. I mean, 44 Marines, 4 tanks, and soon have 2-2 against just the Roachling Bane for RagnaroK. Unless RagnaroK takes a really decisive fight.
Well, he basically needs to max out, throw this into the army, and then figure out where the game's going to go from here. Because if you sit maxed out on Roach Ravager, it's just not, it's not supply cost efficient. It eats up too much supply. And even though these are kind of tanky units, you know, it doesn't get you in a comfortable position later on.
But you see these engagements, the Marines drop and they fight, and the only thing that can really kill them is Banelinks. Roaches and Ravagers don't cut it, Marines don't cut it.
They just deal damage to the Marines, and the Marines get healed and then picked up and then get back out. Now, that being said, I do feel like Ryung has been kind of slow, you know, really getting the game to pick up over here on his side of the map.
He's certainly been passive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened there. Seems like Ryung's screen and our observer screen were both just high enough that we didn't see the Banes come in there. And look, I mean, he's sort of slowing down RagnaroK, but if you look at where Ryung is as far as growth and development, this is actually not very good, man. He just took his 4th. RagnaroK is already, I mean, he's essentially maxed out here, and he's already banking lots of minerals and gas.
RagnaroK, to his credit, has been making this composition work so far. Now getting Vipers on the field will be really beneficial to taking on Ryung's army, and especially once Adrenal Glands is researched. Becomes a lot more potent, and he's looking to get aggressive. Some tank siege behind this CC will give Ryung kind of a sounding board to bounce his defense off of, and that's going to push RagnaroK back for now.
You know, the thing is, if you look at the map, big picture here, Terran doesn't have an easy 5th.
That is the problem on
bases. Yeah, you got these 2 bases that sort of point out and almost welcome an attack in from the other side. And Zerg is now in those bases. This is one of these bases being attacked right now. Oh man, okay, a small counter here, not going to do basically anything.
No, just damaging 1 siege tank, really just trading those units out as RagnaroK. And what you said is absolutely true. This map, TBZ, very easy to get the 4 bases, very hard to take that 5th base. But the way things are going right now, Ryung does have that 5th CC, but he has a lot hedged on this push. Most of his siege tanks are committed there, and RagnaroK recognizing that tries to probe and see if he can get any damage done on the third base.
By the way, excuse me. By the way, RagnaroK is now taking the bottom right.
Yeah, he's gotten pushed off this top left corner here by Ryung with his siege tank push, and that's a lot of tanks. Now, RagnaroK does have 2 Vipers on the field, but besides that, his army is not too great. Those tanks getting clumped like that, though, if RagnaroK gets some really good blinding clouds, could be devastating, because Ryung really kind of hedging his bets on having big siege tank shots, and he's not sieging. I think he recognizes this is not going to be a good fight. He's going to try and get out of here.
He can't pick all this up, though. That's the problem. So a lot of this is just going to be cleared. There is a small attack coming down here at the bottom. I don't see anything other than a Ling there to defend.
Yeah, the army supplies were very even there, but Ryung's army just spread a little bit too far across the map. Takes a bad trade. To his credit, though, able to take one more hatchery down. And
all right.
Ultralisk Cavern goes down.
All right, and this plating was denied there,
The
funnily
tank was
enough.
sieged. Look at that one siege tank on the top.
Yeah, right. Okay, so hold on a second here. I mean, oh, well,
That's sad.
yeah. There's one Marine. He's like, oh, God, this is how it ends. I'll take as many of them down with me before I go, too.
Huh.
Ryung is not exactly refilling his supply. He just now is taking his 5th. See right there. Look, I mean, he caused a bit of a headache for RagnaroK, but I don't think that RagnaroK's growth has actually been curbed that much.
No, he did lose a little bit of tempo. Let's actually hold that thought as Ghosts get a good EMP there on the 2 spellcasters there for RagnaroK. A lot of Banelings now coming in. Liberators are out on the field, but RagnaroK has so much here. He's overpowering this position. Ryung maybe lost too many siege tanks in kind of a similar way to the previous game. It felt like he had kind of all the pieces, but...
No, you're 100% right. You know, to be honest with you, I feel like Ryung is just not on the same level in the late game where he can kind of go toe-to-toe, but as the game pans out, he's not Morrow, he's not TY, you know what I mean?
And it feels kind of odd to watch because it does feel like he's getting all of the pieces that he needs to succeed.
But he doesn't know what to do with those pieces is the problem.
And the splash damage just a little bit lacking yet again here with the push on the third base. He was able to EMP the 2 Vipers.
Yeah.
Which is great, but you're supposed to take really favorable trades here as the Terran, and the game may not end just yet, but this could have been so much better here for Ryung.
Oh, I think we're almost to the end here. I mean, this is...
69 Lings, 18 more in production, Ultras coming
number
out.
ever, dude.
It is. And all these mules.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for Terran to get out of this little corner of the map. And look, you know, whenever Ryung hit any of these bases, RagnaroK, like yin and yang, just reflexively grew into the other side. And then it just seemed like Ryung sort of overcommitted. Anytime he took a base out, he lost the medevacs and the Marines of Marauders. He would siege the tanks, ultimately losing that. And now we're just seeing, you know, this stampede run him over. GG RagnaroK. 2-0's Ryung. And I gotta say, I thought this was gonna be a little bit closer, but you know, RagnaroK is very good at being RagnaroK, man. He's very, he's always improving with his play style. You know, Ryung, this is his weakest matchup.
It is.
But, you know, it just does seem like Ryung doesn't have the stamina in the late game. He's not growing as fast. He's not microing perfectly against the Zergs. And honestly, you really do need to micro perfectly against Zerg. You can't kind of trade stuff out. If you watch Maru play, I mean, he just is always making it the most favorable exchange humanly possible. Anyways, guys, we've got a break, but up next to PvZ, Creator versus RagnaroK. We'll be right back.
coming up hot for a minute.
지성사이 다째로 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is 제로 life 없어도 되는 건 빼고 지성사이다 제로
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침엔 라떼 홀릭 점심엔 라떼 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 홀릭 칸타타 라떼 홀릭
I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I'll be coming up hot for a minute.
지성사이 다째로 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is 제로 life 없어도 되는 건 빼고 지성사이다 제로
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침엔 라떼 홀릭 점심엔 라떼 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 홀릭 칸타타 라떼 홀릭
Round of 20 group interview.
그래도 운 좋게 20강을 뚫은 거는 만족스럽지만 또 그렇다고 10강에서 만족하기에는 좀 더 아쉬운 뭐 적당했다 그 정도로 평가하고 싶네요.
일단 20강 탈락 안 한 거에 있어서는 만족을 하고요. 10강에서는 좀 경기력이 너무 안 좋아서 그거에 대해서 좀 많이 속상해요.
10강에서 이제 1주차 끝나고 발렌시아를 갔다 왔는데 흐름이 뭔가 깨진 듯한 느낌이 너무 많이 들어가지고 근데 다 졌는데도 6강을 가더라고요. 되게 스스로 너무 마음에 안 들었어가지고 사실 뭐 6강 진출이지만 만족하진 않아요.
네, 일단은 제 게이머 인생에서 망했다고 생각하는 시즌이 몇 개 있는데 그 중에 하나가 아닌가 생각이 듭니다. 일단 떨어질 수는 있지만 경기력도 워낙 마음에 들지 않았고 박진혁 선수한테 지는 건 좀 아니지 않나 생각하고 있습니다. 아직도 분합니다.
복귀하면은 잘할 거라고 생각을 했는데 스스로 이제 메타를 바꾸면서 이제 주도를 하더라고요. 성주를 그렇게 압도적으로 이길 줄 몰랐어가지고 더 대단한 것 같아요.
준필자가 돌아와서 성적 내기 힘들 거라고 생각을 했는데 준호 보면서 좀 제 생각을 다르게 하게 됐고 어떻게 보면 좀 존경스러웠어요.
준호 형이 원래 굉장히 잘했는데 그래서 우승하는 거 보고 저도 빨리 하고 싶다 이런 생각 들었어요.
당사자가 바로 옆에 있어가지고 말해도 될지 모르겠지만 연습하는 과정을 다 봤는데 그따구로 할 거면 연습을 뭐하러 했나. 연습을 너무 고생스럽게 열심히 했는데 준비한 걸 못해가지고.
성호나 병렬이는 무게감 있는 선수들이라 좀 이기기 힘들다고 생각을 했었는데 지금 멤버는 확실히 이전보다는 좀 더 쉬운 것 같아요.
판도의 변화가 있을 만한 선수들이긴 한데 한 선수가 조금 아쉬운 선수가 한 명 들어와가지고 조중혁 선수가 그래도 워낙 재능으로 먹고 사는 선수이기 때문에 또 붙으면 또 어떻게 될지 모르니까 그래도 잘하는 선수들이 올라온 것 같아요. 박명호랑 싸우는 게 낫지 않을까. 한 방 맞으면 3초 만에 끝나니까 금방 끝나는데 민수랑 토크는 사실 밤새 토크인데 거기서 매듭 못 지으면 아침 먹으면서도 얘기해야 되고 얘기를 계속 하다 죽는 것보다 맞아 죽는 게 낫다.
저는 그래도 후가 나을 것 같아요. 저는 싸움을 싫어하기 때문에.
그게 피 안 나고 잘할 수 있어요?
네, 저도 그만큼은 못하겠지만 그래도 어느 정도는 저도 말 많이 할 수 있거든요.
근데 뭐 명호 형이랑 싸우면 당연히 안 될 것 같고 사실 그렇게 뭐 말빨이 세다거나 아니면 뭐 까다롭다고 생각하진 않아가지고 민수랑 얘기하면 뭐 제가 이기지 않을까 싶네요.
뭐 굳이 하나 뽑으라면 민수랑 얘기하는 게 낫지 않을까. 살아야죠 그래도. 옛날에 그리고 T1이었어가지고 만약에 갈궜으면 나한테 원한이 있지 않을까 그런 걱정도 되고.
제 기억엔 2012년 GSL 시절에 2킬인가 3킬 하고 가방 들고 찍은 사진인 것 같습니다.
둘이 정확히 기억해 10년 전인데?
사실 그때만 잘했어서 그때는 다 기억을 해요.
굉장히 저도 깜짝 놀란. 누워서 다리를 올려보라고 했는데 다리가 안 올라갔어요. 그래서 선생님이 뚝딱뚝딱뚝딱 한 3분 하셨는데 다리가 갑자기 90도로 싹 올라오더라고요. 그래서 저기서 신앙심이 다들 생겨가지고 지켜보시는 분들이 다 박수를 칠 정도로 건강해졌습니다. 저 사진 이후.
저때 이제 IM 입대인데 LGIM 입대인데 아마 제가 알기로는 저때 처음 코드S 올라갔을 때였나? 그랬을 거예요 아마. 그때 광탈했죠.
그 사진 요즘도 가끔 보거나 혹시 불러본 적 있다.
많죠. 얼마 없는 그런 사진 중 하나여가지고. 이거요? 진짜 그 약간 못됐다. 그 찍은 사람 진짜 못된 사람이다. 벌 받을 거다.
시즌 2 때 어떻게 보면은 저는 제가 실패를 했다고 생각을 하는데 그래서 그 실패 때문에 시즌 3에는 좀 더 잘할 수 있을 것 같아요.
네, 뭐 성적에 대한 각오는 사실 없고요. 그냥 건강하게 시즌 잘 마무리했으면 좋겠어요.
시즌 3 목표는 저는 일단 10강에 가는 게 목표고요. 그리고 다른 번외적으로는 좀 강철 멘탈로 하고 싶어요.
시즌 2 때는 오랜만에 경기라서 긴장도 많이 되고 또 준비도 좀 부족했던 것 같은데 한번 그래도 겪고 나니까 다시 감이 돌아오는 것 같아서 좀 더 잘할 수 있을 것 같은 그런 기대감이 들거든요. 잘해보도록 하겠습니다.
Today's matchup. Creator. Sue. Ryung. RagnaroK. Round of 20, Group D. (2022) Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody, to Group D of GSL Code S. We're about to go into our winners match. RagnaroK versus Creator. Creator got here with a 2-1 victory over Sue, and RagnaroK with a fast 2-0 over Ryung, and kind of a convincing, although awkward CVT fashion, as those games were a little bit funky. Now we got a PVZ ahead of you for you guys. Creator looking good in that first match.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I think Creator probably going to 2-0 RagnaroK. Maybe RagnaroK takes a game and we get a 2-1 with Creator still winning. But, you know, honestly, Creator looked pretty terrifying. He did have that one weird game against Sue.
Yeah. Where, like,
I don't know
army.
what to make of that game, to be honest. I don't know if anybody can make. It's like he got maxed out and he's like, stalkers here, stalkers there. Now all my stuff's gone. And then just lost the game.
Happens sometimes, especially when you're trying to play that style like Creator did, where you have stalkers everywhere on the map, and then your armies back at home are really high tech, but they don't have like any meat to them. And yeah, sometimes things just fall apart. We've seen it happen with a lot of different Protoss players in a lot of different matches, but
we're going to Stargazers. That's you guys
it's
at
you
home.
guys.
All the Stargazers in the chat. Game 1, let's go.
I love these map names, man. They're so good.
Team NV, Creator. Alpha X, RagnaroK.
I'm curious what builds Creator has prepared, because coming into today, he had the potential to play 9 PVZs with 2 Zergs in this group. So you'd have to think that he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Yeah, I think he for sure has to have a big range of builds. And I think that's one of the things with Creator. You know, in the past, he fumbled his builds a lot, to be honest.
Like historically, you mean?
Historically, yeah. But it was tough to cast, man. I mean, I've been following this guy's career for over a decade here. There's a walkout.
No.
We're not doing this.
We will not be on camera.
It was exciting for me, you know, this year when I started to see Creator have all of his builds work, all the ideas were there. And, you know, the execution was really on top. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a real threat to any Zerg here. I also think, I mean, look, GSL, let's just take the last 5 years. Let's take Legacy of the Void, okay? Mostly Zergs won.
Yeah.
So if you're going to become a GSL champion, I don't care what race you are, including Zerg, you need to be good versus Zerg.
That's
right?
very true.
And I think, you know, a player like Creator, who's had to go through this gauntlet, this experiment where we just keep learning more about the game and building on top of that, you know, I do think him and Hero as well, both of these Protosses, that because they've stuck with it, they've really got a very modern, healthy take on the matchup in general.
Especially with as few patches as we've had over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Kind of leads to a situation where your builds aren't really becoming obsolete because of balance reasons. Maybe they fall out of the meta. And as that continues over years and years and years, these top Protoss players are kind of able to put all these, albeit aged builds, in their pocket to kind of whip out sometimes. And sometimes taking something off meta and bringing it into the current meta space can be really productive.
Oh, yeah, these ideas that have been really fleshed out but are just sort of, you know, it's not what everybody's doing right now. It doesn't mean that they can't be used anymore. I mean, one thing about RTS is you have to recycle a certain number of builds, but yeah, I think you're 100% spot on, State. Sometimes you bring these older builds out, people aren't ready for it, or you just put that in your toolkit of openings to make your play really have a lot of range.
And Warp Prism Adept, for example. This one goes back a long ways. See if he goes up to 4 gateways with this.
Now, this could look like what he did in Game 1 versus Sue, right? But we don't see the Dark Shrine or anything here yet.
There's no 3rd and 4th gas, so this is looking like a different variant right now.
So this is probably to pair with Game 1. This is basically him playing the group.
It is.
This build is now out in the bloodstream.
He's cutting at 37 workers as well, so this is way more committed. He's actually adding a 5th gateway right now, so he's really 6th. Yeah, this is effectively an all-in. He needs huge damage to make this work.
So this one, he's like, oh, you think I'm going to get DTs, and then, you know, sledgehammer him with Adepts. Now, this doesn't, you don't comfortably transition out of this very easily, so.
No, often the only transition that you can make out of this one, if the game is still playable, if it doesn't completely get fumbled in terms of attack, is disruptors, because as you see right now, RagnaroK, he's already got roaches in production, and roaches are fantastic against Glaive Adepts. Protoss on limited gas with a lot of gateways on 2 bases, they really don't have a lot of tools to deal with this, so Creator needs to get a lot done here.
He's got 16 lings and about, well, I didn't see how many roaches, but a couple roaches were going to hatch here. Let's see where he wants to try to maneuver these.
8 Adepts out now for Creator. Now he's getting ready to warp in a lot more. Yeah, 6 more.
Now, when you see them warping in these waves like this, that's when you know it's actually an Adept commitment. When you see it just in 4s, so 8 total, looks like 2 waves of 4 gateways warping it in, you think this could still maybe be the DT or some other kind of weird tech.
And you can tell that he's trying to hide his Adept count right now because of that. He only shades in with 2. He keeps everyone behind the Overlords. Just trying to build up his Adept count. And surprisingly, he's warping at everything. And right here on this bridge, I was thinking he might do some in, you know, the pocket natural there to try and catch RagnaroK off guard. But instead, he's fully committed here in the front. That is so many Adepts. He's going to one-shot a Queen. That's so many Adepts, man.
Yeah, and he could actually continue to one-shot these
RagnaroK,
Queens.
I think he was either move commanding or trying to get the Warp Prism.
Something weird happened there because he got way too spread out. More Adepts are going to come in, and the Ling Surround is pretty damn good.
Ling Surround +1, Bile gets huge damage on these Adepts, but they are going to shade into the main now, and that's a lot more drones going down. RagnaroK now on 28 workers. He was only on 39 when this attack commenced, so every worker loss here is huge, as now Creator shading out of the natural ramp, trying to get away. And this is some pretty good damage. 25 drones now for RagnaroK against the 41 of Creator. Although RagnaroK has the better army, Creator with that damage to his economy has the ball rolling.
Yeah, he did an excellent job there. I mean, this is 31 drones remaining now here. Army supply massive for Creator.
And Creator is going to be following this up with a third base, Immortals, and Blink. So no disruptors from him, instead focusing on the Immortals. And RagnaroK in a little bit of an awkward spot right now because he really needs to drone heavily, but the threat of these Adepts is still looming.
Yeah, and it's not clear if this is going to be a commitment or not. I mean, with these Warp Prism out here, you could be hiding this and warping in waves of Adepts. Now, he's not doing that, and I think Creator's playing an excellent game on his part because of that. Notice the only place that the Zerg could probably comfortably expand would be this fourth base. It's sort of an island. But, the Warp Prism generates enough of a threat of that. It's kind of an uncomfortable place to go. But I think it's just so smart. Taking the third base, getting that Blink, getting this Robotech up here. The follow-up push is going to be very tough to deal with. Even just sending these two Adepts over here just to try to one-shot some workers.
Yeah, a couple of drone kills here is meaningful. Look at it opens up a space to get more damage done in the main as well. 4 drones going down, almost getting a 5th. For a second, I thought he might start dropping the Adepts to try and finish that one off. And to this point, RagnaroK only just now equalizing on worker counts. And in that time, Creator has been able to build a much more developed army here, mixing in Immortals, adding Blink Stalkers. He's still only on 3 gases as well, so this is a very mineral-heavy army here for Creator, and that's going to mean that it has a lot of punch.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary for the Zerg here. And I don't know that RagnaroK can survive this, but I also don't feel like he can beat this and then be comfortable either. Does that make sense?
It's tough.
Like, this is a lot of pressure building here, and with Blink done, that's when you can really get value.
Especially if you're just posturing over here near the creep. Because RagnaroK with his army, he can't really engage this off of creep. Creator has to come to him, and Creator feeling confident, going to push up this ramp.
Got to be careful with that
Immortal.
One goes down.
Showing some confidence, too, with the Blink up. RagnaroK just not enough army right now. Creator.
Yeah, Creator murdering here. Blinks in again. That's going to be game 1. RagnaroK has been defeated here. Creator going to have a 1-0 lead. GG. All right.
Man, really riding the momentum from that Adept timing. That was a lot of damage.
It was a good build. It was a good build, and I like that he knew exactly how many Adepts to get, where to go, and when to stop. We've had so many games in the history of StarCraft 2 where Adept pressure builds are all-ins. They just never stopped. I guess an all-in you don't stop, but you get what I'm saying. They would just keep making Adepts and hoping, okay, maybe this will get him. But he got him exactly uncomfortable. Kept the pressure to keep Zerg off of 4th, kept it ambiguous, didn't show the Warp Prism either, so that way you don't know if there's more stuff warping in or not. But the Blink into Immortal with a third base made it a really powerful closer.
Especially on 3 gases like that, because you just see how many minerals he had. That Stalker
so
count was
many
huge.
Stalkers, yeah, it's great. And Stalkers can always out-micro Roaches, Lings, and Ravagers here. So we're going to go to Waterfall here. For map 2, Creator with a 1-0 lead. Actually, I think we might be coming back on camera. There might be a delay. We will see.
We'll see. Both players getting in the lobby now. Perhaps we're all right.
Okay, no, I think we are going to go into game. Oh, a little bit of chocolate. Take note of that. He's a dark chocolate gamer.
Protoss players at home.
Protoss players.
Go load up all things Protoss. Get the brand of that chocolate. Get it imported.
Do you do any dark chocolate when you play?
Dark chocolate? No, I don't. Is this a thing? Eating dark chocolate while you play?
You didn't know about this?
No.
I'm not trolling you right now.
You're not.
Yeah, it's like, well, hold on. Let's keep the suspense. I'll tell State in game 2. Let's go.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Continued. Will this make you better at StarCraft 2? Or is Taste of Savoron?
Team NV, Creator.
So some people will take caffeine to play. I'm a caffeine guy personally. Either iced Americano or green tea. But some people will actually nibble on small bits of dark chocolate because that doesn't give you the same kind of sugar crash.
Huh? But what does it give you?
It stimulates your brain.
Really?
Yeah, it perks you up a little bit.
Is that because of the sugar in it, or is it just the chocolate? I don't know anything about this.
Well, I'm not a scientist. I never said.
You don't know why.
I'm like, listen, State. I never said that dark chocolate was a computer game. Okay, I just said that gamers use it.
Gamers use dark chocolate.
I'm sure you could Google it, but there's something. This has been used in chess. I've seen. Probably some other super cool, smart
Interesting.
stuff. Yeah.
Super cool, smart stuff.
Super cool, smart stuff. That's the category I put it in.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
I'm going to look this up when I get home.
TY was eating little bites of dark chocolate.
Is that the secret? What is?
Happy RagnaroK Day. Is it Ragnarok's birthday?
Suppose it is. Is it the 3rd?
It's the 1st.
It's the 1st. Happy early birthday, I guess.
You know
RagnaroK. Creator's
birthday?
gonna be giving him a big L for his birthday. It looks like he's playing really hot.
You just knew his birthday?
Well, no, that wasn't that Happy RagnaroK Day. It was like on the.
Oh, I saw Happy RagnaroK Day. Did it have the
I'm
date on
assuming
it?
it's his birthday.
Huh.
Maybe he had some big victory.
I thought you
That's
were like
the
one of these
anniversary.
people,
Of.
you know all the pro gamers' birthdays?
I
I'm
know
like,
Sue's birthday because me and Sue actually were born on the same day in the same year.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Opposite sides of the world, man.
Opposite sides.
2 gamer babies were born.
One Protoss, one Zerg,
That's
one good
right.
at StarCraft, one bad.
One good at casting. Like,
neither of us are good at casting. Tasteless. Let's be real.
Now,
all right.
It's going to be Twilight Council here right away.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to get a robo behind this.
I do wonder that.
I also loved this little trick that we didn't talk about it because we were talking about dark chocolate, which was far more important.
Yeah.
But Creator was hit his probe down in the natural expansion of RagnaroK and just like kept dancing around the mineral line.
Yeah.
And RagnaroK like pulled a drone like, you're not doing anything tricky, right? Maybe getting flashbacks to like losses against Parting or something.
Yeah.
No robo yet and a Stalker in production. Huh.
Yeah, the Stalker maybe to just try to kill off the Overlord to get the tech later on.
Gotta be Blink. Quite early here for
Okay,
Creator.
yeah, that's very fast. Look at that.
What do you have planned here, Creator?
It's the second gateway. How soon can you get Blink? I guess we're going to find out.
Robo going down as well. Huh.
So I think he might go 4-gate with Blink Stalker.
Just try and pressure.
Yeah,
perhaps.
well, keep in mind the way that the opening is packaged to the player who's being attacked, you can't tell that it's once again a different build initially until you see the Stalkers.
RagnaroK behind this, by the way, has been making a ton of lings.
Yeah.
He's not quite all in, but only 27 drones right now, 7 more in production.
This is the way of the RagnaroK. This is the way of the Rags, dude.
Oh, actually, battery going down there.
This
is a little concerning.
He like
but
makes a bunch of stuff, tries to really throw you off, and makes drones behind it.
yeah, never mind. I thought for a second the Lings might be able to get enough surface area to have 2 of them attack that
Look
battery,
at how
but
bad one Stalker is against this. This is like
Yeah,
the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's like 4 hits or something. It takes a few. He might not get these gateways, man. That battery, I think, is going to finish. One gateway's going to go down, but that's... I'm not sure if that's what you want. Okay, this is what you want. Or is it? For a second, I thought he was going to run into the man and get a scout off.
Like,
All right, there you go.
sure. Like RagnaroK's like, is this what I want? Is this what will this make me happy? No.
Well, he does get into the main base, and behind this, he has taken a worker lead, and he's actually making more roaches. And he's going for a roach warren and adding a lot more lings. So,
well, I mean,
Creator's going up to a lot of gateways. Okay, I actually
yeah.
did not catch that behind all of this. Creator's going up to, it's got to be maybe 6 gateways.
5 or 6 gates, I think. And he's going to have the Warp Prism ready. I mean, some probes were killed, some infrastructure was destroyed, but he could basically move out with this.
This slowed Creator down quite a bit, though, and RagnaroK on about 44 workers. We'll see what he's able to get done. Shield battery now. Yeah, he's just going to boost that. Overcharge the battery and get a full HP on the gateway. Doesn't want these lings to be too annoying. And RagnaroK is going to just power up on roaches and lings from here on out. And I'm not sure if Creator is going to have enough to really push through this, because RagnaroK, that ling attack, although it didn't get too much real damage done, gave him the scouting intel that he needed and also bought a little bit of time. So I'm curious what Creator is really going to be able to get done with these Stalkers, or if he's going to try and take a third base behind this, because
I think he wants to put on serious pressure here. I actually think that, weirdly enough, the big ling investment, I think it actually put RagnaroK in an almost worse spot.
You think so?
I might be wrong, but I do feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, because he made a big plume of drones behind it. But, you know, you could micro against this pretty well.
All those Lings wish they were back at home right now. Still a lot of Lings and Roaches here in the third.
Big snipes on those two Ravagers.
This is scary, though, for Creator. Army supply way in favor of RagnaroK, and a lot of that is in Lings. 64 Lings out for RagnaroK right now, and there's one thing Link Stalkers are not good at. It is killing Lings. Lings get a full surround, Biles come down, and that's Creator just getting completely wiped here as RagnaroK had all the pieces of the puzzle to shut this down, and looks like we're going to be going into game number 3 eventually, Tasteless.
Yeah, no, I think there's no recovery here. I way underestimated the position here.
Yeah, 43 drones is pretty much all you need, and RagnaroK with a ton of Lings.
Can he actually save it this time, I wonder, with the Ravagers and the Biles?
I think he can break it if he wants to, but he might just play kind of the safe game right now because he is on 3 bases. His economy is effectively uninterrupted. He's able to drone as much as he wants. Like, what is Creator going to make right now? Like, more Stalkers? Is he going to make, like, 1 Colossus? Like, there's really nothing Creator can do that's scary. And oh my God, that was almost got it. It was just below.
That would have been a really bad way to lose that. We basically never have that happen. Yeah, I mean, the Stalkers could be annoying, but, you know, the Zerg, since Protoss doesn't have like a 4th base, or I'm sorry, a 3rd base here, it's kind of hard to make anything happen.
The Creator's going to play this out. You can't fault him. If he wins this, he goes on to the round of 10.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to stay in this game, but...
And, you know, RagnaroK hasn't taken a 4th yet. He's just going to do another follow-up push.
He is. Looks like he might have 1 Colossus or 1 Disruptor with this, and he's actually going to take a 3rd base. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend this one.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. But, you know, I mean, if RagnaroK attacks in and bungles that, I think Creator's got a real shot still.
Yeah, it is a path to victory. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Colossus is going to be the choice here for Creator.
And he's going to come in here once more.
It's just so much Zerg, though.
Yeah, not bad force fields. Pretty good pairings here for these Zealots. Kind of a funny little engagement there. The Lings are going to force a cancel.
RagnaroK's taking a 4th base, and he's just going to continue to power up and build more units, and I'm not sure what Creator is going to do from here.
Well, he wants to try to get the Colossus out and have enough of that splash damage that he can maybe take on hordes of Zerglings. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. He's going to get a Disruptor as well. Okay, so it seems like he's going to lean back in and just like, all right, 2 base all in.
I think this is a smart play. It's pretty much his only option.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, but I like the idea behind it.
I'm right there with you. So Colossus will, you know, in theory, do a decent enough job of cleaning out the Lings, and then you have maybe, man, the more I'm saying this, the more it just sounds like it's not going to work. It's not a very...
You're gonna explain that. Just saying it out loud. You're like, no, this is wrong.
Yeah. We'll see, though. If the Disruptor gets a big hit off, Wonder Ravager is
not bad.
Something.
If he can intercept this.
Yeah, I was about to say, there is potential. He's able to intercept that army, and RagnaroK right now trying to push over. And
okay, you know what?
This is actually...
This is getting a little scary here, man.
I'm not sure why RagnaroK is kind of sequestering off his army into these little forces, because I feel like if he just goes for one big fight, he can just win this right away.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing to note is, like, you don't actually have to, like, always counterattack. Like, he's on 2 bases. He's going to mine. He's going to run out of minerals soon.
Yeah, he's already at half minerals in the main, and you see 1 mineral patch is already mined out of the natural.
Either surround his army, or if he takes a 3rd, then you deal with that. But it's one of the two. There's no need to like run back into his natural. Like he's, you know, right now Creator's all in. I don't think this can work out. I mean, the math is.
There's no Ravagers out for RagnaroK just a second. He's actually making Banelings.
You know, there are a lot of sentries here, so he could.
This actually
he could barricade
might work. We'll see. Creator's coming in now. Just Stalkers.
Ooh.
Like that cancel on the Disruptor. Saves that shot, I think.
These Stalkers can't go anywhere. Okay, actually pretty good pull away.
Yeah, but no force fields, not enough energy, I guess. And
well,
that's not a bad trade, but the army supply still favoring RagnaroK just a little bit here. 132 to 96. Keep in mind.
Well, you know, I'm kind of surprised he's coming up at this part.
Okay, Ravagers. Yeah, you need Ravagers for this. I don't mind him going up here because it's just 2 force fields to block either of these ramps, and RagnaroK knows it, so he's not trying to go up onto the natural of the third because he doesn't want to get blocked off of one of these bases and have like Crater just walk into the natural, then walk into the main, kill the tech, right?
Right. Oh, here we go. Another shot. Oh,
that's
juicy.
a pretty big one. Banelings and Ravager going down. Still some force fields left in the bag here for Creators. RagnaroK trying to get it around. Banelings are going to be able to connect though. Coming in.
Oh my God.
Blink up on the high ground.
He takes the Colossus with him. This should be over soon.
Should be, but man, props to Creator for making a game of it.
Yeah, it was a hell of a game, man.
For a second, really thought he might have a chance there. Just his army was, he built it up enough that he kind of put himself in a position where he might have been able to come back with that game, and RagnaroK is going to take it, but good showing from Creator after really a bungled Linkstalker timing.
Dude, there's something funny about this, because like every game RagnaroK like takes 3 bases, and then he like flips a coin, and he's like, is it roaches or is it lings? And he sends that across and does damage and then makes a bunch of drones. It's just so funny to see it happen a couple times in a row now. Well, frustrating loss there. There it is, the dark chocolate.
Yeah, the dark chocolate. You might be onto something, man.
Choco gamers is what I call them. Choco gamers.
Choco gamers.
Yeah, man. Get your dark chocolate.
Inside and out, in and out. In and out burger going to map number 3. Surprising, actually.
Creator, it's going to be inside the game and out to the round of 10.
Stretch.
Yeah.
Like it, though. Getting bold with these.
Yeah.
It's always funny seeing the map name meta evolve over like a GSL is casting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, set number 3, inside and out. One of these guys is going to go to the round of 10. Will it be Creator or will it be RagnaroK?
And more importantly, will RagnaroK make 9 roaches or 14 lings? And then only drones behind it.
Team NV, Creator. Alpha X, RagnaroK.
Now, going back to the early game at map number 2, that Linkstalker opening is not something that I see in a lot of PvZ games that I watch. And
me too.
To me, that kind of speaks to the depths of Creator's preparation coming into this group. So even though the build really didn't pay off in the end, RagnaroK went for that Ling timing and broke through the wall. He got a full scout off on what composition Creator was building. He saw the gateways, and he just knew to make units and shut it down. I like that Creator's kind of going out of the box with these pressure builds to try and keep these Zerg players on the toes. So even though, you know, in map number 2, it didn't work in his favor at all, really. He was playing from behind pretty much from the get-go. I think that kind of preparation speaks to the skill that he's bringing in this PvZ series. And I'm liking his odds to get out of this group. We're seeing some really nice play out of Creator so far in his first two matches against Su and RagnaroK.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing that he has such a range that really, like, you can't prepare against what he's going to do. And I think that's the difference between him and Hero and then the rest of our Protosses, where they get predictable, you know?
5 different builds, I think, so far from Creator. Or at least it might be.
Yeah, and who knows, he might lose this and then, you know, play Su and we can see 2 or 3 more different builds.
Could be.
Definitely going for a lot of rushes, though.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
They've definitely been different, you know, techs, but I think big picture, they've all kind of followed the same theme here.
With the one exception maybe of being that the Stargate play with the Phoenixes. But yeah, besides that, especially the Adept timings, one with DTs and then one going for like 6 Gate and a Blinkstalker Immortal. Mostly timings is what we're seeing. And this game seems like it's going to be about the same. Going for a Robo again and building a Stalker again. This is looking just like last game. Huh. See if he throws down the Twilight as well. You know, a Protoss player is like good with their prep, but like even the casters are kind of wondering what they're gonna do when we can see everything. There's no Twilight yet. Makes me think this might be a Robobay going down.
We're talking about him taking a 3rd base, and then we look up, and his Warp Prism's warping 4 DTs onto our caster desk. He just attacks the desk and blows it up.
Immortal coming out already, huh? Okay.
So this could be again. Look at it from the exterior. It always kind of looks but it always looks like the same thing. If you're a Zerg on the outside,
the Stalker to shoo away the Overlords, the one Adept, the second Gateway at roughly the same timing every time.
Exactly. You go, is he doing that same thing again? But he's not. This time it's Immortals, and I think this will probably be a different type of push, but it'll probably be another 2-base. Lots of gates, Robo, War Prism, and then this time Immortals probably impair his struggle.
And RagnaroK once again building a ton of
there he
links
goes.
to try
He
and
answered
gather
the question.
intel.
It was lings and not roaches.
This time Creator does have a battery up already, so that's gonna be really helpful here in the defense, especially with the Sentry out now. He's actually gonna show the Immortal? I suppose the Overlord of the main base spotted it, so okay. Cat's out of the bag already. For a second I was like, huh. Interesting decision to show it, but yeah, it's no secret any longer. And Creator, perhaps knowing that, throwing down a Robo and a Twilight Council, and this might be the kind of thing that's like, okay, my plan has been revealed. Let's change things up just a little bit, because this is the kind of tech switch where it builds upon the Immortal already as part of the composition, going for ground weapons and really any of the Twilight Council techs. And also, it plays into the fact that RagnaroK as a Zerg right now is probably going to stop droning maybe in like the mid-40s unless he really has a good read on what's going on. And then if you push later, then suddenly the Zerg is punished for having played more defensively earlier in the game. So
I think you're right. I think that's the idea, is that you don't see anything come out right away, and you go, all right, well then your third's going to be a little bit later, and then the push comes.
Yeah, we see RagnaroK, he's really, he's mixing in drones with links. He's not just droning up because he is kind of afraid of the Immortal threat that's looming, but Creator going for charge, adding 6 more gateways and +1 ground weapons, as well as a 3rd gas. So it's actually going to be Banelings coming out from RagnaroK, and this is really good tech selection from him.
Well, you know, 4 gates coming here. Army's going to be massive. RagnaroK, no 4th yet. No clear target. By the way, bad creep spread.
Kind of been the story so far in PvC today, it feels like. Creep spread has been a little bit lackluster. But with timings like this, I feel like it doesn't really matter quite as much, because usually the push is not very protracted. It's very often just kind of over and done with, you know? Like you come into the 3rd base, or you try to push up like between the 3rd and the natural, and it's either the push is going to work right away or it's not. And creep is kind of out of the equation, but it's kind of an interesting position here, because generally when you get 2-base all-ins like this, you can look at the composition that both players are going for, and you'll be like, oh, well, I like this for Creator. Oh, I like this for RagnaroK. But the way the Creator kind of delayed his push and mixed in charge Zealots with +1, so it's going to be 1 less hit to kill the Lings.
Doesn't this just die to Banes? I mean, I guess
3 Sentries, though. No Ravagers out yet. I mean, it could still go either way.
It feels like a weird moment, like the Immortals would have to target the Banes.
Maybe, but I feel like at that point you're just going to try and minimize the damage there of the splash on the Zealots with force fields and also splitting. Because with Zealot speed, I mean, your Zealots also do move faster, so you can micro them quite a bit more. I don't know. It's really going to come down to the engagement, I think. 5 Immortals, though? That's so much. This army is really strong here. Nope, only 2 Ravagers out. Banelings coming in. Oh, there's some good connections, but the force field's right there on the Lings.
Oh my God.
There's no surround.
Lock him in.
He doesn't have the force field energy left to lock him in, and the 2 more Biles come down, and that's more Lings coming in right now. I don't know, Tasteless.
Yeah, so this is just not... I guess there's a reason why we've never quite casted this game. GG, RagnaroK wins. Creator is going to go to the losers match, and man, I didn't see this one coming. RagnaroK gets out first.
Yeah, RagnaroK with nice defense there. Interested in hearing what he's going to say in the winner's interview. RagnaroK with some good ZVP and ZVT performance, going to be the first player of this group out to the round of 10. And a lot of that there just came down to the engagement.
Hey, Creator keeping his cool. It's not over yet. He's going to face off against the winner of our TVZ that's going to be coming up next. But, you know, kudos to RagnaroK, man. He is moving on into the round of 10. We're going to have an interview now and see how he's feeling. And then we're going to take a break and go to our next best of 3.
네, 여러분 안녕하세요.
RagnaroK of Alpha X defeats Creator in the winners match to move on to round of 10. So JYP is going to be conducting the interview since Fury's still not here yet. Congratulations. Thank you.
3시즌 연속 10강 진출하게 됐는데
So this is your third consecutive GSL season round of 10.
진출 소감 한마디 해주시죠.
How do you feel right now?
사실
honestly,
조가 처음 나왔을 때는
when I saw the group at first,
나를 위한 조다라고 생각을
I saw this
했는데
group was really ideal for me.
막상 준비를 계속
And when I was starting my preparation and in the middle of it,
어렵겠다는 생각이 들더라고요.
I had a feeling it's gonna be a little bit hard for me.
처음에 조가 나왔을 때
So when you saw the group at first,
나를 위한 조다라고 생각을 한 건
you thought that this was an ideal group for you. Because in this group there are no TSL participants, there's no GSL champion. That's right, right?
현우랑 윤수 형이 굉장히 까다로운데
I mean, Creator and Soo can be very tricky to play
제가
against.
이제 예선에서 동원 형을 이기 올라갔는데
But in the qualifiers, I beat Ryung to make it here to round 20. So playing against Ryung first, it was really comfortable for me.
실패한 시즌이라고 얘기를 했잖아요.
And you said season 2 was a failure for you.
이번 시즌은 좀 느낌이 다른가요?
So do you have a different feeling going into season 3 right now?
왜요? 똑같아요?
Why are you laughing right now?
좀 아쉬운 것 같아요?
아니요, 이번 그러니까 마지막 시즌이잖아요.
I mean, this is the last season for the year.
마지막 시즌인데.
So I was thinking yesterday.
만약에 오늘 떨어지면은.
And since it's the last season, if I get eliminated today,
나올 때까지 뭘 해야 되지?
I was wondering what I can do until the super tournament. I'm gonna have to take a long break, long hiatus.
아 이건 꼭 이겨야겠다.
So I had a feeling I had to win today, no matter what.
진출을 해가지고 마지막 시즌이라 더 좋은 것 같아요.
So I'm really happy. I'm really relieved to make it to round of 10.
김동원 선수를 상대로는
So against Ryung, in the first game, the second game, you went for the roaches.
선수의 플레이를 보고 나서 즉흥으로 준비를 한 건가요?
So was this something made impromptu
뺏겠다 생각을 한 건가요?
against Ryung?
이번에 이제 재선 형 레이너를 이길 때 투베이스 썼고
Bunny beat Rainer, he used two-base strategy.
수호 형 이길 때 투베이스를 했잖아요.
When Armani
근데 동원 형은
also used the two-base strategy as well.
유행이 되기 전부터 투베이스를 굉장히 좋아했던 선수여가지고.
So Ryung used to really favor this two-base build even before it was popularized. So I had a feeling that I need to counter it. And that's why we put the roaches today. So you had a feeling you will never lose in terms of macro.
투베이스를 무조건 막으니까.
I mean, if I go for roaches, I can definitely block the two-base strategy no matter what. So I was confident that I could win if I pull it off.
그럼 이어서 전 솔직히 장현우 선수와의 경기에 좀
against the match against Creator.
끝났다고 하더라도 2세트에선
in the second game,
링찌르기를 좀 엇박자로 해줬거든요.
You kind of took his timing off with the Zerglings. So why did you go for that play?
원래 그 빌드가 이제 우주 관문 상대로는 그렇게 좋은 게 아닌데.
That play is not really good against Stargate builds.
워터폴이랑 인사이드를 고른 시점에서.
When Creator went for waterfall and inside and out, I had a feeling he's never going to go for Stargate on those maps.
파도한테는 굉장히 좋거든요.
So the strategy that I use is very strong against adepts.
거기다가 레더였으면은 그냥 뭐 대충 하고.
And if this was a ladder match.
토스가 여기 대회잖아요. 그래가지고
and this is a tournament.
마인드 할 수밖에 없어가지고.
I had a feeling that he's gonna go for that strategy no matter what. So that's why he went for the Zergling off-timing build.
링찌르기가 막혔잖아요.
The Zerglings got fended off by Creator.
장현우가 준비한 건 탐사정 쉬면서 돌진의 불멸자 올인이었거든요.
Then Creator went for the all-in after the probe.
갑자기 맹독충 둥지를 지으더니 일벌레
and then suddenly you started building the Baneling nest, and then you were able to defend his army.
연습에서 해봤거나 레더에서 만난 거
And I have a feeling that you must have practiced this beforehand or met a player with this build in the ladder. So what do you think about that?
불멸자가 나온 걸 받고 저글링으로 원래 아무것도 못하면.
I saw the Immortals, and if I can't do anything with the Zerglings in the early phase, it's really hard for me.
불멸자가 나오는 걸 봐가지고 이제 보통 현우가 불멸자를 뽑는 경우는.
But then I saw the Immortals, and when Creator picks the Immortals, it means that he's gonna go for the Zealots as well.
그래서 이제 계속 저글링으로 상대방이 이제 3-4정을 뽑나 안 뽑나.
So I kept watching Creator's probes with the Zerglings.
만화가 80 있고.
And then he wasn't producing any more probes, so I had a feeling, I was 100% certain that he's gonna go for the Zealot and Immortal strategy. So you went to the round of 10 now, and there are numerous fans here rooting for you. So anything you want to say to them?
지난 시즌에 이제 6강을 갔지만
So last season I did make it through on the 6th.
6강에서 2연패하고 발렌시아 광탈하고
In the full league, I got eliminated. I got eliminated in Valencia as well. DH, DreamHack Valencia. My performance was not good overall.
여기서 게임하면 좀 더 잘 되는 느낌이 있어가지고.
But I have a feeling I play better on GSL stage. And now that I advanced as the first place, I have a feeling that I can play better in the next round. I too agree, RagnaroK. Your performance is looking so great right now.
재선이 형 고맙습니다.
And also thank you, Bunny, for helping me practice.
이재선? 그럼 이재선한테 영상 편지 마지막.
So anything you want to say to Bunny?
이재선한테 마지막으로 사랑한다 이런 거.
Apart from the shout out, maybe like I love you message or something.
근데 재선이 형이 저 때문에 올라갔어요.
Bunny actually made it to the round of 10 because of me. So we actually made it even.
안녕.
Hi, Bunny.
감사합니다. 오늘 승리 축하드립니다.
Well, thank you, RagnaroK. Thank you.
네, 잠시 후에는 어윤 선수와 김동원 선수의 패자전 경기가 이어지고요. 저는 잠시 후 D조의 두 번째 10강
All right, thank you,
진출자와
Andy.
함께하겠습니다.
Guys, we're going to a break. Ryung versus Sue coming up next.
You're the fire in the night. You give love to me now, again and again. I feel you rush through my veins, and no matter the fear I feel now, I will be brave. I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains down. I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains down. I can move mountains. When I'm lost out on the edge, and all that my eyes can see are 1,000 barricades. Yeah, you're the voice echoing. You're the sense in the madness, peace in the sadness. Yeah, I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains now. I can move mountains. I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains now. I can move mountains. I can move mountains. When I'm with you, no obstacles impossible, the world can change. I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains now. I can move mountains. I can move mountains. I can move mountains high. I can move mountains now. I can move
I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. I'll be coming up hot for a minute.
그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life 없어도 되는 건
제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody love to drop when I'm in it. Everybody love to drop when I'm in it. I've been coming up hot for a minute.
지성세이다 제로. 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life. 없어도 되는 건 빼고 지성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
Today's matchup. Creator. Sue. Ryung. RagnaroK. Round of 20, Group D. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're in the elimination phase of Group D. This is Ryung versus Sue. And we were talking a little bit about this on break, State, but I kind of feel like Sue might just kill Ryung here. I feel like Ryung does not look that strong at the TVC matchup right now.
Yeah, the first series against RagnaroK was quite shaky, to say the least. It felt like he was just making the wrong decisions sometimes at the wrong time, and he was also really lacking in splash damage, which surprises me, because most of the TVZs that I'll see, like from Maru, for example, like, he'll be making 2 tanks at a time when he needs them.
Yeah.
And the Zerg will like keep attacking and attacking and attacking, and the trades, although like they're not super favorable for Terran, he's losing key units, he always remakes them.
Yeah.
And eventually he's able to build up this ideal composition that can tackle pretty much any Zerg force. And like that's kind of what happens in a game when Terran doesn't have an opportunity to win in the earlier mid game. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like some of the theory is
The theory does seem off, man. We're already going to go into game 1, guys. This is Data C to start off the elimination best of 3.
Team GP, Ryung. Guangdong Freaks, Sue.
Expanding on what we said earlier, but it does feel like the theory coming out of Ryung, at least in that first series, is just a little bit different from what we've seen from top Korean Terran so far in this tournament. And it kind of hasn't really translated into success. Like, I'm not seeing the advantages of playing with this slightly more bio-heavy style that's slightly less aggressive compared to the slower kind of defensive play that we've seen from Maru. And wow, look at this. Oh, the Pro League. Wow, that's a flash from the past.
That tripped me out because it's like a zoom in on someone's phone, but I was like, is something wrong with our screen? Because I went on our screen, I was like, why is that not filling up the corners? And what am I looking at? Sorry, you were saying.
No, it's just I don't know, because you know these guys have their styles and their strategies that they practice day in and day out leading into tournaments like this. And so obviously there's a lot of thought and preparation that goes into this, but I just don't see the advantage to kind of the playstyle that we saw out of Ryung in that first series against RagnaroK. And maybe that's more of a stylistic mismatch because RagnaroK is a lot more of an aggressive Zerg. We saw even in the second game when he went for that weird Roach timing at CC first that got nothing done, and then he continued to build Roach Ling. We kept thinking that, yeah, this looks good for Ryung because his army composition is just going to be better.
Right? Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also kind of throwing a wrench into the Terran's game plan because it's just so weird.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in that playstyle. I think if Ryung mixes it up, he absolutely has the mechanical skill, as we've seen before, to take out down a player like Su. It's just, I have more questions than answers right now from that first series in terms of his TBZ.
So,
that's third CC again.
Yeah, this part I'm not surprised about. I feel like Ryung has really leaned into just like, all right, let's be mechanically good. I do think he needs better theory, you know, because we saw him, you know, like you were saying, push out where, you know, it's like, I think he was attacking in moments that are not the right time to attack into, but let's see if he can kind of get back on the saddle, so to speak, in TVZ. I don't think Su's going to be as weird and aggressive as RagnaroK was. So I think, you know, this might allow Ryung to just get on a healthy 3-base economy. I do feel like if you're a good Terran player, this is like one of your ladder builds. This is one of your solids that you want to play against anybody who you think is going to be a real threat against you in a macro game as you try to take all the advantages you can have with that.
Yeah, safe 3CC play like this is, it's a good way of leveraging your economy into the mid game, as we've seen Ryung really power up in the mid games previously. You know, in that series against RagnaroK, that's when he looked the best in that series, was when he was taking those fights across the map in the mid game with a huge economy behind him. And already changing things up just a little bit, going for a Raven now, mixing in a little bit more Hellions than we saw in the previous series. So certainly some adjustments already, and I think that bodes well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. With the Raven coming in here, I mean, this is going to be a very safe play here from Terran overall. We might not have much go down for a little bit, guys. This could be just a very slow opener. I am curious about what Su's overall play style is. I do feel like when he does feel like he's going to get pushed heavily, he likes to go into Ling Mutabane and basically try to, you know, be a brawler Zerg and try to take the opponent on head on and basically topple the army and fight back just as hard in the counterattacks.
Yeah, Su is one of those Zergs that really does like that kind of older style of ZBT. A lot of European and North American Zergs especially will just focus on, you know, Ling, Baneling, pretty much all the way through to Hive Tech. Sometimes mixing in some Vipers if they get an opportunity, sometimes maybe mixing in some Roaches, and then eventually going into Lurkers and all that late game. But Su, certainly back in the day, was a big fan of the Mutalisks and made that work for him for a long time. And this Ling run by actually going to catch a Mule and potentially some SCVs.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty nice counter. Doesn't even really cost the Zerg anything because he didn't lose any Lings really. Maybe one there, but yeah, I mean, you know, okay, now that's a good catch to come in here and get that.
Yeah, nice awareness there by Ryung, moving in time to catch those Lings out of position, actually making Su pay a little bit for that damage instead of getting it for free.
The barracks explosion is happening here, so we're going to see a really powerful production engine kick in right now. It won't kick in until the 4th base has already started to be mined from here for Su. But especially with this build that Terran's doing, we want to watch the first push very carefully, I should say, because there's going to be, you know, serious wind in the sails here for Terran.
No siege tanks out for Ryung whatsoever. He's just adding more barracks.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. But it looks like what he wants to do is basically just have the numbers and the splitting and not rely so much on... oh, nice micro behind the geyser. Very good by Ryung.
Yeah, positioning those Marines perfectly to deflect any damage. And you called it perfectly. Look at that. Su going into Mutiling Baneling already.
He's going to get Widow Mines here. That's going to be like his supplement for the siege tank. But one thing about this is it reinforces very quickly. If you can arc really, really well, you're going to be sitting pretty, I would say.
I think this is a good adjustment too, especially considering the playstyle that we saw Ryung go for in the first series. Because when he was excelling, it was in the mid game, when he was moving around with a lot of bio on the map, when he was attacking in multiple places, not so much the late game. And Widowmines kind of play into that. We see Su trying to get us around. They will be able to catch some of those Hellions as they get their way on Crete. And Ryung going to use that as an opportunity to potentially focus down some of these queens.
This is a very late counterattack from the side here. He is going to burn through his transfuses. But ultimately, I think it's a good call. I mean, he takes out, you know, the push. The Terran can't really do much. Now mutas are out, and this is where you can really punish because, look, there's nowhere this can land. And again, I do feel like it's maybe a little bit too reckless to be on the mini-map with your medevacs like this. And that has to go away now because Mutalisks are out, and they're going to be part of this game forever.
Don't use Banelings on that.
Did Banelings explode on destructible rocks?
Yeah, but not a lot. I mean, still never ideal.
Artosis and me joke about doing that. I don't think I've ever had a game where it happened, but I guess I've seen everything now. So 1-1's going to finish. Su went for that comp that we talked about. There are so many barracks up right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of barracks. I'm watching the production tab, and Ryung just keeps adding barracks, and he's finally now mixing in Marauders, but the bio composition that he's going to have is just going to be so large. Like, look at the army supplies. Usually you would see Zerg Balloon at least a little bit ahead of the Terran, but Ryung is pretty much keeping pace with him in terms of army. Su just now taking the lead, but Ryung, all this is in bio. It's all in Marines and Marauders with a handful of Widowmines, and that's an army that, if you can avoid the critical Baneling hits, will just straight up overpower pretty much anything Zerg has at this stage. Hellbat's mixed in as well. All right, he sees all the Banelings. Here we go. That was a really nice connection there with the Raven. Banelings coming in, get a lot of the bio.
Oh my God, this is so much from
so
Su.
much
This
Zerg.
is actually so ridiculous. This does kind of show you, though, like why a lot of Terrans do go for tanks, even though I think you and I were both kind of excited by the unit comp. The tanks do offer enough splash onto Banes that the Zerg has to respect it a little bit more. And now there's a big problem. Nice Widowmine hit, by the way. He will clean that up. Now the problem is that there's 30 more Lings hatching and probably many more that are already out. In fact, 48 are already out. I don't know what is to prevent another attack in like that from completely obliterating the Terran's position.
It almost feels like that follow-up attack is inevitable at this point.
Oh, yeah.
That was so successful. Su did a really good job of, even off creep, getting critical Baneling hits on the bio ball, because without those hits, the Marines and the Marauders, you know, kiting back into the base of Ryung, they just deal out so much damage on this Zerg force, but Su with a really high Baneling count just pile driving through that.
Yeah, this is going to be rough, man. I think this game could just end. Let's see how this goes. There is one Widowmine, kind of funnily enough, he was attacking the depots down there.
Su's just playing like a bulldozer right now. Ryung needs some really good splits to be able to hold on here, and that's a nice start. Pretty favorable trades there for Ryung, and this is, again, going back to the difficulty of Su kind of pushing in here off creep. Hold that thought, though, as Ryung gets a little bit ambitious, moves down the ramp, and Su pounces on him, even more bio going down. Su once again taking a huge supply lead. That's going to be it.
Man.
For a moment there, it seemed like Ryung might have some life, because that wasn't such a bad engagement there in the third, but then moving down the ramp, Su just cleans him up, and really dominating fashion. And yeah, you said it, like, it kind of goes to show how important the tank is in this matchup.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, because like I don't think we have a lot of games where we get the Widowmines like right away early on. If the tank is sort of like a key centerpiece unit, but then when we were kind of letting the game develop, I thought, okay, well, this is kind of interesting. Maybe he wants to stay mobile. And then you just see Su shut that down so handily. It's like, Ryung, don't try that, is what Su's saying.
I feel like part of that is Ryung going for the fast third CC.
Look at Ryung.
See, he looks kind of dejected right now.
Yeah, it's like, what do I do?
Strategies are just not working.
It looks like he's failing a test right now. He's like trying to guess.
Looks like
his
me taking my SATs.
Yeah, this is me in lots of college, actually. I'm like, I should have just read the book, man.
But going back to that, like I feel like the composition he went for, that works if you're on 2CC. You know, if you keep the aggression fast, because then you can actually focus down Banelings. You can limit the expansion of the Zerg, but instead he's just letting Su grow. And when the Banelings get in such a number that they can just kind of roll on in, unless you have splash damage, how do you deal with it with that composition?
I think
Ryung.
you can't, man. I mean, it's such a wrecking ball of an army. Guys, game 2 is loaded up. Let's get back into it. He's found the answer. Remember he was scratching his chin earlier? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like, what do I do? Oh, man. He's like, oh, I know what I'll do.
Proxy barracks.
Look, there's a chicken leg in the ground there. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. The chicken leg?
Or a flower.
I wanted the other.
Sorry, State. I don't play with the map zoomed in. I don't know what's down there.
It's one thing actually that's pretty fun with StarCraft 2 is like playing zoomed in. You can't do that in Brood War, right? Can you do that with the?
You can in single player.
You can in single player.
And you can find out that the Zerglings in StarCraft 1 have like hands, like human hands.
I remember.
Yeah, they have like little freak human hands.
I watched a clip of like Artosis figuring that out or something, and it was just like, whoa, I never realized.
What is going on?
Back in the day, I loved playing StarCraft 2 like fully zoomed in sometimes, just like as a gag. You know? Just like 4-gate somebody, but like play fully zoomed in through the entire game.
Well, if you're playing it like just for like the fantasy, you know what I mean? Wait, you can make 4? Okay, dude.
I didn't know we could go that high.
Why don't you just get 5? Let's get 6. Let's see what happens. Do you need to make depots? I'm not sure. Who knows?
It's like building like an altar around this one geyser.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, we find out that's the game-breaking move is the 5th barracks to the left, and then the last one is you make the SCV make the refinery on top and have them all try to mine it and then see if they can pop out.
That's how you do like the flying SCV trick in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
We discover this.
That's how you have a StarCraft 2 seance happen.
Well,
now what would make the 4 barracks better than the 3? I feel like this would start up later, or is this just?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand the nuance of the ebb and flow.
Yeah, 2 barracks seem to be like, okay, you can put the pressure on it and you can still back out of it and try to play a normal game. 3 feels like it's more of an all-in, but 4 is like, I don't even know what we're doing.
4 is like you don't even have an orbital back at home.
Yeah.
I think he's actually cut SCVs completely at like 11 mining minerals or something. Yeah, 11. I'm so smart.
Let's switch to Terran, man.
Bring out my Atticus, just like trying to solve the puzzle. But this is going to be huge. And Seuss, to this point, has no idea. He's taking the 3rd hatchery. So Ryung is just planning on making like the largest ball of like Marines anyone's ever seen at like 4 minutes into the game. And Su is completely oblivious to this fact right now. He's just now setting his links into the natural expansion, and Ryung, his star sense is tingling. He's moving into the 3rd right at that time.
It'll be really funny, though, if Terran loses with this. I just want to point this out.
It would be really funny.
All right, now he sees it coming. Pull the links back. See, he knows. He's like, you actually have to cancel that.
2 spines in production, but this is just so many Marines. I feel like this is just too much to handle, isn't it? Like that's so much bio.
He supply blocks him too. Forces a cancel on the spine. The Lings are still attacking, by the way. Oh no, they pulled away.
They can't go. They can't get through the wall. It's just going to be repaired forever. And Su, out of 19 drones, his 9 get picked off, and Ryung kind of pulling the rabbit out of the hat right now. He's getting huge damage in with these Marines.
Well, he's going to get 2 queens. Well, he's going to get all 3 now.
Only 4 Lings out for Su.
I'm sorry, Ling speed's almost done, right? We don't have that tab up.
I don't know exactly.
Oh, there's a spine done here, too.
Yeah, like 80%. Spine is done. But again, there's so many Marines that I feel like he can just skirt his way around this, right?
Well, I mean, these are not going to heal, right? So, I mean...
Yeah, but at the same time, the production isn't stopping either. And the worker counts are almost even at this point.
But he gets Ling speed, though. He can just get up there. Right?
Could be. That's a lot of Marines, though, Tasteless. I don't know. All right, he's cutting back.
Oh, my God. He's going to stop it. Oh, no, he's got enough. I don't understand. I've never cast anything quite like this.
I've never seen Proxy 4 Barracks Marine.
He loses the Queen.
Yeah, the Queen goes down. 1 Queen up. 12 Marines, 12 Lings. 4 worker advantage for Su, but the second Queen pops and the Lings come in, and that might be enough with speed.
It's enough. I can't believe it.
It is enough. I thought Ryung might just be able to kind of carry the momentum, but somehow the unscouted forebearing still doesn't break. Stu going for 3 hat freezes. Ryung is going to be eliminated from the group.
Well,
and, I guess we all learned something here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's still builds that we get to explore in GSL to keep the show fresh. How funny. All right, Sue.
I really thought Ryung had that for a moment, you know? You see the third hatchery go down, 9 drones die at the natural expansion, one of the spine crawlers goes down, a queen dies, and it's like, well, if this doesn't win, in what world does this build actually translate into a victory?
I think they would have to be a Zerg that's so bungled to control early. And honestly, it wasn't like suited that well controlling that, but it does seem like Spine's finishing. Queen's just coming out. And especially with the Lings with speed in front of the Queens, that's when the Marines just melt. Guys, we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Another day back on my feet. I'm fighting every minute till the weekend, so I can live it up and do it all again and again. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. Wednesday, and I can't wait to get away. I'm counting down the minutes till it's Thursday. I'm holding on for one more day. I'm fighting every minute till the weekend, so I can live it up and do it all again and again. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. Friday we go dive, Saturday we ride, Sunday party and let's call it a perfect weekend. The perfect weekend. The perfect weekend. Let's call it a perfect weekend.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive and get down and dirty, act like the bad guy. You want some love, you like when you feel like calling at midnight. You got the best of me, you got me losing sleep. I've been
minute. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Some say that zero. 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life. 없어도 되는 건 빼고 실성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탕 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁은 라떼, 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 홀릭 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. Everybody let it drop when I'm in it. I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Some say that zero. 그래 걱정 빼고 고민 빼고 망설임 빼고 This is zero life. 없어도 되는 건 빼고 실성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탕 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁은 라떼, 홀릭 풍부하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 홀릭 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
Today's matchup. Creator. Sue. Ryung. RagnaroK. Round of 20. Group D. ...2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
I take the whole city down with this.
What's up, everybody? We're back. We're closing out Group D. D is it death? As in one of these two players will receive that metaphorically in a tournament sense when they're eliminated from the GSL.
Yeah, Creator versus Sue having a rematch of match number 1. Back where we all started. Time is a flat circle, tasteless.
That's right.
And Creator, man, he's been looking pretty good in PvZ, I gotta say, especially that first series here against Sue. I'm liking his odds of getting out of this group.
I feel like what should have been a bunch of close games, in my mind's eye, what should have been a bunch of close games turn out to be a group with extremely different disparities in skill. Yeah. This happens, man. I mean, the games speak for themselves. I don't feel like I have to defend this very much.
No, you're right about that. We were talking about it before we went live today about how this, like, oh, we're probably gonna have like a lot of like really epic, like really close matches.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a long day, and you know, it's gonna be tough to see who's gonna come in on top. But Creator should do it, and then that was not the case at all. Now let's not forget this is a rematch.
It is a rematch,
and you know, Creator, he's been liking these timings, man. But can he pull that off again? Also, Sue, he's had some time to adjust. He got his reps in, dumpstering Ryung. Let's see what happens, man. Game 1 on Inside and Out.
Team NV, Creator. Guangdong Freaks, Sue.
Oh, what?
Huh. Going for a hatch block, maybe. 235 minerals heading in. Creator wants to stop this.
I think he can block it in time.
I think he can.
Yeah, uh-oh. Sorry, gamer. Oh.
Oh, how the turntable turns.
Oh, he didn't.
Oh, he's gonna get the drone! Disaster is struck in the heart of Korea.
This
Poor
is insane.
Sue.
I feel like I look over at like Sue's like setup where he's playing, and just the earth opens up and swallows him into it.
Just fall into a sinkhole.
Yes. Just disappears. Could not have been a more parried opening.
Parried is a good word for that, man.
Good one, man.
You got some good words, Tasteless.
He judo flipped him.
They should pay you for this.
I've got all the words, State. All of them.
All the words.
All the words. Man, I can't believe how well that went for Creator right away. That's a sign of like just like you're so solid. Like you have this moment of like, oh, I see what he's doing, but I mapped this out so perfectly. I throw the pylon down, and then I send the second probe so he can't like do like a little orbital move where he like kind of goes in a circle and like my probe doesn't quite catch it in time to hatch. He just shut it down.
Even
entirely.
body blocking and catching it on like the ramp, but then Sue doesn't mineral walk in time to get out, and
Yeah,
it dies.
yeah, it was so good.
It was very clean, and we're gonna have a Stargate out from Creator. All right. Still blocking that hatch too, so Sue's gonna have to get Lings out to be able to take that base.
It's super annoying. He's got a queen that's about to hatch here. Ling speed coming.
Really liking what we've been seeing out of Creator so far in Group D. It's a good start to the series.
Yeah, I do want to point out, I think Creator got a little bit too wacky in his winners match builds. I mean, he is
A
facing
little bit.
elimination. Yeah.
Linkstalker on 2 base is kind of unusual.
Yeah, for this era that we're in, for sure it is. So let's see what he does this time. He is getting to Stargate, so I'm sure we'll have an Oracle come here in a second.
Oracle now in production. Creator with 2 adepts, just gonna poke and prod. See if you can delay creep spread, find any intel. One nice thing about this is it will confirm whether or not, oh, he's actually gonna finish. He's gonna trade these out. And 3 drones, not bad. Oh, is he gonna get 4? He's gonna get 4.
Dude, that's huge.
That's pretty good. That's a lot more than you expect to get. And on top of that, you're also getting a lot of intel because you saw drones hatching and not Lings. So that's a really nice sacrifice there for 2 units that are going to drop off really quickly. And it's going to be Oracle in the Void yet again. We saw this earlier. Oh, I love this. Shade's behind. Puts up the battery. Shade finishes.
Dude,
and now
he's
the
playing
Adept
the
heals.
perfect game.
This is the perfect game.
This is the perfect game, man.
There's no
he's
sport
like at
crawler.
every single engagement.
Yeah.
And he's
3
like,
drones.
and I leave with orange shell. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, but is he
My
still the
heart sunk
perfect
for a
gamer?
moment.
Look at this. He's like, I don't care.
Well, that Adept's going to go down.
Yeah.
But for a moment, the worker count was like 38 to like 28 or something, which is just absurd this early in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I'll take the dead adept, man. Oracle's still in this. Void Ray killing the Overlord. Zerg still doesn't know what tech is coming, by the way.
Yeah, just knows that there's a Stargate out. Doesn't know if there's any transition, if there's going to be a timing follow-up to this or a third base, but probably banking on it being a third, as we have a second Oracle about to pop here for Creator. Third Nexus going down. And Creator really off to a great start in this map. I know we're kind of joking about like the perfect game, but like it really has been so fantastic.
Well, you know,
he's gonna get more. There's no Lings here.
His name is now P Gamer. P Gamer, dude.
P Gamer.
Creator, aka P Gamer, man.
The perfect gamer.
With his P games.
His P games.
Dude,
it's been a great start. Like, this cannot be understated. I mean, everything has gone his way.
Because when you've got 2 top players, usually they get there's like a dance they do, and then they both have to back off. But I mean, this Creator's coming in here and getting every poke and every jab, and trading so well.
Creator Oracle's now down.
Did they bring the units lost tab up on screen? I was actually watching the observer screen, not a preview screen.
I don't think they have yet. If they did, I missed it.
I would love to see what that was at, honestly, because like
the KD ratio is pretty good.
It's got to be good, right?
It comes in again. 1 coin is 4. Allow him to pick off 4 more drones.
Did he kill the Oracle? No, I think they actually both got away.
Yeah, I'm quite sure they both got away.
No, one got killed. Oh, no, it's over there. It's over there.
Right?
It's over there.
Yeah, both up. 1 or 2 shots away. Man, top Protoss players have gotten so good at like just getting out with Oracle with like a sliver of health.
And
so
he gets
consistent.
this. Oh, dude, P Gamer, capital P Gamer.
Capital P Gamer.
That's sick.
Behind it, he's been adding a ton of gateways too. He's got a Warp Prism in production. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't happen again.
Oh, I thought it was going to get the queen too. I'm like, you're kidding me. All right.
He might be just swing this into a kill move. Like, this is so much damage. This is the kind of situation where you can just ride the momentum from this. Like, he's up 10 supply. Okay, well, a lot of stuff just started there for Su, so not true anymore, but he's still up in supply, Tasteless, 101 to 99. And Su's been trying to, like, drone to catch up on this, but look at the armies, 58 to 32.
More hiccup to mining before the attack could come in.
We might just see Su die here.
I think, well, I'll be very impressed if he survives because he has been totally abused to this game.
Some Hydralisks are about to pop, but only 20 lings on the map right now for Su.
Dude, he's
Drones
got the void
being
ray
pulled. Creator is the P Gamer.
Dude, P Gamer is taking him to task. Dude, that's it. He's going to win. Look, I think he's trying to spell the letter P. I think, he just didn't have enough energy. I saw it, though.
You can hear the
It's a lot of force fields to get that letter out. It was
it's like 7 or 8 force fields.
GG.
Creator,
P.
or should we say P Gamer plays the perfect game.
Jeez, that was an amazing performance, man.
That was honestly so clean. That was so impressive.
Every little interaction went so well, and you know, he just. There's so many moments in a StarCraft 2 game where you see, and you know, they come in, they try to kill, you know, 4 or 5 drones, but they get 1 or 2, or they try to trade this way, but they don't quite pull it off. I think he had over a dozen moments of just basically coming out ahead. He lost like 1 adept.
Yeah.
In that whole exchange, it just came out and totally trashed Su there. We're gonna go to Data C here with Creator versus Su.
Man, what a game.
Well, I gotta say, man, it just is a big reminder out there that, like, when Creator turns it on, I don't think anybody can turn it off because he is a killer. And he's feeling it too, man.
All right, Data C is loading in, guys. We're gonna go to game number 2. Creator 1 win away from advancing to the next round of the GSL Code S.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day.
Team NV, Creator. Guangdong Freaks, Su.
Okay, so he's got a probe already, ready to block.
Man, that last game was just like 5 or 6 minutes of perfect chip damage. And he's just like, I can just kill you now. Like,
yeah.
I've taken so much of an advantage by just chipping away at you.
Oh, yeah.
Time and time again.
He's like, I've just done 1% damage over and over enough that I can now have one blow that kills you. Like, it's crazy.
Rare that you see something like that so clean in professional StarCraft, especially at this level.
in StarCraft 2, actually.
Yeah, Code S, 12 years in, like,
with early gameplay like that, that's wild.
And it wasn't like it was just like some harassment went well and it snowballed. Like, it started from like minute 1 with the proxy hatch getting blocked and the drone getting killed in the natural at the ramp by being bloody blocked, and then the pylon going down at Su's natural, forcing him to take the 3rd. 2 adepts come in, they take down 4 drones, way more than you ever expect them to get, and then follow-up adepts and oracles just continuously picking off 2, 3 drones, stasis wards going down. Like, everything that could have went right
even
went right.
Overlord snipes in there.
And it wasn't like just like freebies. Like, he earned it. Like,
no,
all that
no,
damage.
And everyone, he juked when he should have juked. And, you know, he zigged when he needed to zig and not zag. He did it perfectly. And I don't know. It's just it's a kind of exciting to see.
I
a
love
game
it.
like that.
Yeah, that gives me nerd chills, Tasteless. That's
Yeah.
what Artosis would say
That's
if
what
he was
Artosis
with
would
us.
say. Artosis would go, he'd go, ow, ow. It's so good, like that.
He'd make that facial expression.
He'd make that,
too.
when he does it, his face, it looks like he's a dinosaur hatching from an egg. He goes, ow, ow. Like, so it's going to be a Twilight Council. Now,
from an egg.
and, you know, we got to, excuse me, remember there's probably going to be a double gate block at the entrance.
Yeah.
Basically, Creator has come in here with like a build that starts out in a tree and forks out in all these different ways, so he can keep doing different openings. I'm sorry, he can have the same opening but fork it into different directions. So all these games that the two Zergs got to see throughout the series, they can't really use it to their benefit.
Mm-hmm.
An example of this way long ago, I remember the first time I saw this, Artosis was pointing out it was Squirtle in like a whatever GSL group a million years ago. But it's like every game he opened it up looking the same, and then he always had a different thing he did.
Yeah, that's been the story with Creator. This is like maybe the 4th game that we've seen this Adept in a Stalker opening, with the second gateway going down at 3 minutes and then the tech behind it. And yeah, nice and standard, and it's going to be Robo DT again. So this is a little bit reminiscent of, I think, game 1, the first game we had in this group, where Creator went for 4-gate Glaives DT. Now, this is not a Glaives DT build. This is just straight Dark Shrine there with the Robo. So could, again, be a potential DT drop. Could also just be Archons going in.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to make the DTs. I guess it depends on how you set it up, right?
I think it probably depends on if the Prism gets spotted. Would be one of the.
So you're probably right. Yeah,
one of the things.
That's probably literally just actually what it is.
It might be.
Is like if the Prism can get there undetected,
then you just try and get damage over the DTs and go back to Archons if you can.
Yeah, do a control game, take a third, maybe attack again.
This timing of warping in Adepts as well. I wonder if it's intentional, him warping in the Adepts there in Vision of the Overlord to kind of egg Sue into thinking this is just straight 4-gate Glaives, because that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah. Well, if he does literally the exact same thing, that's like a big disrespect play too here to Sue.
Well, there is no Glaives. This is going to hit a little bit faster with the DTs, but it does look the same.
Yeah.
So Sue right now in his
slightly
head.
different. Oh, and he's just going to make one DT under an Overlord, by the way.
Huh. That's not what I expected.
I think the idea is that you don't. Well, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with this.
Yeah, the 1DT really is odd to me, but all right. Creator now gearing up to take third base. As he's going to walk home with those Adepts. I'm trying to watch the mini-map spot for the Warp Prism, and I think he's warping in DTs over here now. I'm still really confused about that DT. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like a misclick.
I don't understand
What's
it either,
the
to be honest,
of
man.
Well, 1DT with the Adepts?
Also, he did it under an Overlord, so like even if he thought he would like hide a DT in with the group and maybe he would sneak in.
And you're going to go on creep, like we'll see the Glimmer.
Yeah.
And like, to that point, Sue hadn't known that there was a Dark Shrine, but anyway.
I don't know.
I'm sure Creator has his reasons, or really could have also just been a misclick, but Archon drop is going to start now as Creator's going to transition that third base with a Forge. Archon's trading favorably here, getting a Queen. Just trading off shield damage. Behind this, Sue was able to force a cancel on that third Nexus, so Creator just now planning that down again and starting Blinking Immortals. Worth noting that Sue's drone count was really low when that Warp Prism was moving across the map. He was totally geared up to defend a Glaives Adept all in, and it just exploded to 66 as soon as he identified that that wasn't the push that was coming. And now we have a Spire coming down.
I think Sue's got a much better shot in this game.
I
But
think
the
so,
third
too.
looks pretty safe. I don't think there's any real opportunity. In fact, it probably, all things considered, probably going to be Zerg defending still. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I'm wondering when this timing is going to hit from Creator. This is actually hitting faster than I would think. Blink and +1 ground weapons, if I'm not mistaken, are still a little bit of a ways away, but Creator feeling confident. He's going to pick off 2 Queens here with this little ragtag ball of Archons and Gateway units.
That's actually, if he gets another Overlord here, it's going to be close to
He
supply
has
blocking.
2 Force Fields as well.
Dude, that's an overextension. He loses the Archon.
Yeah, just a little bit of overextension, and As Su continues to build Roaches and Ravagers, you got to think that Crater's eventually going to work his way back. Yeah.
I think this is smart. I'm actually surprised he pushed there.
I am too.
I think you need to have the War Prism ready to juggle the Archons. You know, when you're playing this type of Protoss, you need to keep the Archons and the Immortals alive. They're the most important units. If those start to drop off, it's pretty easy to call the game. Look at the perfectly placed spores.
Crater just finding that one little nick to drop the Immortal in. Just trying to create problems right now for Su.
Yeah, it's just like any little damage you can do.
Just taxing him, really. And Mula's production has started, so a little bit later than Su would have liked, because he had to make all those Roaches and Ravagers to deal with a push at his third base, but we'll see how many he actually comes out with here. It was only 5 to start. Bailing Nest coming down now for Su.
You know, Su is going to have a pretty strong attack coming up here.
I think so.
All right, he's going to force a blink. Creator's been very good. Look at the way he blinked away there.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
A bad player would have just blinked all at once, and then they would have been surrounded later. But he basically he like leapfrogged them away, and then the Zerg wasn't too far along to basically commit onto it. But I mean, really good nuanced control there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you noticed that. It really is a kind of special thing, and it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is, by making those blinks, he's really kind of buying time, because you don't want to have all of this blink stalkers on cooldown.
Yeah.
If you do it like that, then there's a little bit of damage coming into the stalkers every single time you blink, and you buy enough time that you're never going to take hull damage.
Yeah, they can keep leapfrogging away.
It's really so exciting. It's such a treat to have like an RTS esports that has lasted this long, that we get this kind of high quality gameplay day in and day out.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's like RTSs really do age like a fine wine. Like, we were all cave people back in the first season of GSL.
Oh, yeah.
We were uncivilized.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to like the maps we played on.
We were like eating raw pork meat and getting sick, and like we were like confused. We're like, I don't know what's going on. We just kept eating it.
It was an interesting era.
We hadn't like invented soap yet, or I mean, there was so many things wrong. We were just total barbarians. But now it's like we're building aqueducts. You know?
It's the Roman Empire.
It's the Roman Empire. We're not fully civilized, okay?
No, we still have Protoss.
Yeah.
As long as this race is around,
That's right.
we're still gonna be a little bit barbaric.
That's right.
All right.
Oh, he gets that one, but did he overblink?
Maybe a
what
little
about
bit.
our lesson we just talked about?
We just talked about it, Creator.
No!
Actually, sectioning off a couple of those Roaches is nice here. Is Creator's army is powerful. He is down a little bit in supply. Oh, hold that thought. Su coming in with a lot of bailings. Creator with a fast reaction.
Oh, he's trying to go for it. Okay, kind of missed the opportunity there. Didn't get those probes.
Yeah, probes staying alive, and this army for Creator is strong, but keep in mind, he only has about 5 or 6 force fields alive with it. This bailing attack going undetected, luckily for Creator. No +2 ground weapons up yet for Su as the attack commences over here at the 4th base. Creator's army looking really strong right now. He's ahead in army supply.
Dude, he just killed like almost all the Banes that were going to be in this fight.
Look at this spread, though. The Archons are exposed on the left side.
Yeah, but I think the damage spread might be not favorable here for Zerg. I think he can basically reconfigure, regroup. And he kites the Colossus. Guys, I think Creator might be able to come topple this 4th base and win this game. And he's going to be in range of the Banes again.
He's pushing in. He doesn't want to let the Banelings morph. This next warp in, 3 more Stalkers coming down. Creator's investing everything and ending the game right now. The Banelings come in. Are they able to get connections? No, look at that split there with the Blink Stalkers. Ravagers are being morphed, but it feels like it's too late. I think Creator's going to walk away with this one, man.
I think he's got him.
Blink Stalkers coming in now on the Ravagers.
Dude, this Colossus is still alive somehow.
Oh my God.
That's Creator inside the Colossus controlling this GG.
He's piling it like a Gundam.
Piloting the Colossus himself.
This is where we come.
Creator's going to be the last player to advance out of Group D. Heading once again to the round of 10.
Hell yeah.
And really immaculate play in that final series.
It was sick, dude. I'll tell you, man. Neo Creator, I dig it. He just played so well. Honestly, game 1 was like, for me, it's funny because like it wasn't epic in the way that like, oh, you know, there were so many bases and the strategy was crazy. It's like, dude, you're so good, and everything you're doing right now, like you are destroying this guy. All right, guys, we're going to have an interview with Creator, and we're going to be closing out the show. I want to remind everybody real quick here, because I might forget before we actually close out the show.
Right.
We do not have GSL on Monday. We'll be back on Thursday, so it's going to be a week off. Go touch some grass, nerds.
Creator takes down Sue in a clean sweep in the final match, and he moves on to round of 10. Congratulations. Thank you. So this is your third consecutive round of 10. So you're right now proving that it's not just your luck that you make it to round of 10. Now, I wanted to move on to the winners match, but it was a little bit disappointing for me. But you know, in the end, I'm really happy to have moved on in second place.
저는 안 궁금한데 이거 질문지에 있어가지고 물어볼게요.
So I'm not that curious, but it's on the sheet, so I'm going to ask you.
근데 1티어 장현우가 지금 저 위로 올라갔거든요.
So you made it to the round of 10 as a second place. So is your pride kind of hurt right now? Your reputation? You know, I'm not lying here, but I actually saw I have a high percentage of getting eliminated today. So I came here with an empty mind. So I really don't think I really don't consider myself as a tier 1 player right now. So I've said this before, but this group is a group that has no TSL participants and no GSL champions. So you probably thought this was an easy one for you. So why do you not think that you're a tier 1 player in this group? Well, for me, the good part was that I'm really strong against Zergs, and so we had 2 Zergs in the group. And also, I've gained more experience over the years, and I think I've gotten better, and I think that's helped as well. And you said you're strong in the PvZ matchup. So you would use Dark Templars, use Disruptors, use Adepts, use Phoenix, and then you went for the Immortal All-Ins, and then you were able to get a great timing attack in the last game to secure a victory. So a lot of Protosses tend to go for the Skytoss these days with the max production. But this season, you're kind of going for the aggressive off-timing attacks these days. It kind of resembles trap strategy. So how did you reinvent yourself like this? Well, first of all, while I was preparing for I Am Katowice, Parting actually came over to my place, and he said he's going to retire, he's going to hand me all of his builds. So I think that's helped me significantly. Parting always said that you're a good player, but you always play too conventionally, too orthodox. So you know that really struck me. Actually. And then from then on, I tried to mix up things and try to come up with creative strategies. Personally, I was really surprised because you normally just go for orthodox strategies, but today you're going for very sharp timing attacks.
사실 이런 말 하긴 좀 그렇지만
I don't know if I should say this.
대략 한 15개가 있어요.
You know, I have like 15 builds that I can play in the PvZ matchup.
진영이 형만 끝나고 제가 끝나고 노트 보여드릴게요.
I'll share the note after GRP. Alright then.
이어서 김준호 선수 이후에 10강에 두 번째로 올라온
Right, so this you became the second Protoss player to move on to round 10. And Hero actually won the GSL last season, and Protoss is looking very good in terms of racial balance. So is the new map not good for Protoss?
저그전은 제 생각에는 좀 괜찮은 것 같고요.
I feel like PvZ-wise, Protoss is looking good. But for against Terrans, it's definitely not good.
징징이 맞긴 하네요.
So you're balance winding, right? So in the interview, you said that your goal is to make it to round 10. That's what you said in the interview. So have you already accomplished your goal? I mean, I accomplished my first phase of the goal. Then what is your ultimate goal going to be? Well, you know, I just want to focus on every match. So right now, my goal is to make it to round of 6. Then with your goal set at the round of 6, who is your opponent that you don't want to play against? It was Rainer, but he got eliminated. So there's Maru and Dark as well.
근데 오늘 신이범 선수와의 경기는 좀 화가 많이 날 것
So in
같은데.
your match against RagnaroK, you probably got angry after that game, right?
아니요. 그러니까 저는 그거였어요.
No, not really.
마음 편하게 하자 주의였어서.
You know, I was trying to just play comfortably against him. So rather than being angry, you know, I admitted my loss and I was just gonna prepare for our next match.
괜찮아요.
You know, every time we just lose and win, it just alternates. So
6강을
it's not that big
2차
of a deal.
목표로 준비하고 있다 보니까 10강에
So right
대한
now you said
각오와 함께
you said that you have your
응원해주고
eyes
계시는
set
팬분들께
for around
한마디
the 6th. So anything you want to say to the fans before you go?
일단 저를
Well, first of all,
응원해주시는 분들에게 진심으로 감사드리고
I just
그에
sincerely
맞게
want to thank
저도
all my
정말 많이
fans
노력하고
for rooting for
있거든요.
me. I'm trying really
굉장히
hard right
고독한
now.
삶을 살고 있는데
You know, I'm living in
열심히
solitude.
해서 또 더 좋은 경기력
I'll try better
보여드리도록
and then I'll try harder in the next
다시
game.
한번 10강 진출 축하드리고
Once again,
10강 때도
congratulations on your round of 6,
축하드립니다.
round of 10 advances. Thank you.
네, 여러분 제가 이렇게
Thank you,
인터뷰를
Andy.
월요일, 목요일 해서 4번을
What a bunch
진행해드렸는데
of great games,
다음
man.
주에는 여러분들이 정말
So,
보고 싶다고 하시는 문규리
yeah, man.
아나운서가
Creator
9월
moves
8일
on.
목요일 날 돌아옵니다.
Let's not forget that God Emperor Ragnarok
이점 꼭 알고 계셨으면
getting out first.
Yeah, I love Creator saying that like Parting gave him his builds before he went to
it's so
military
funny.
service. Like Parting is just like living vicariously through Creator, like cheesing
I feel like
Zergs.
it's like
just like
Creator was like sleeping in his bed and then Parting like opened up his window and was like there with a bunch of builds with a cape on. It was like, take these.
With a
And,
cape.
yeah, a cape
Yeah,
on,
Parting does seem
military outfit on underneath the cape. And he went,
Parting
flew away.
Yeah, Parting seems like the kind of protest player that wear a cape in public. Yeah,
absolutely, man.
All right, Parting and Ragnarok, or Parting, God, Creator and Ragnarok
Creator and
are your
Ragnarok.
victors. Fantastic group, guys. Keep in mind that we will not be back on Monday next week. We'll be here on Thursday.
That's right. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say, I guess. ASL Group F is up
All right.
on YouTube. So if you guys want to watch some more StarCraft, you know what to
So
do.
much good StarCraft.
We're going to be back in a week with Group E.
Yep.
And these are the last 4 guys that are here in the round of 20. From there, we go right into the round of 10. And remember, guys, things move pretty quickly after that. We pretty much tear through the tournament in a couple of days.
Yeah, going to be a fun group, too. A lot of good players in that last one. And I'm excited for it. 1 week away. End of the round of 20.
Hell yeah, man. It's been good casting with you, State, for this
been
round
fun.
of 20. Yeah, Dark Prince Solar Cure. I'm curious how Prince is going to perform. He's a guy we don't see a whole lot of. You know, this is at this point in time, esports-wise, an ancient tournament. I mean, so much story to it, but we have these players that we haven't really casted as much of, like Prince, so we're still trying to see, you know, can you be like Creator? Can you have a breakout performance later on in your career?
Yeah, Prince is a guy that's been around for a long time, even though he hasn't really made a name for himself in the GSL. This is somebody that I was practicing with back when I was a pro gamer, and that was like eons ago. And
crazy.
it's nice to see him finally break into the GSL Code S, having another performance in the round of 20, and he's got a tough group ahead of him if he wants to advance to the round of 10, but we'll see what he's got.
Yeah, man. Good games today. Good casting, as always, State. Again, guys, ASL Group F is up. Everything in the round of 24 is now up. Group selection should be uploaded soon for ASL, and I'll be doing a recording for the round of 16 days with Artosis. So that'll be out soon. That should fill your time for the week until we come back Thursday and close out the round of 20 here for GSL.
And after you finish watching that, you can touch some grass.
You touch some grass, you nerds. Get a life, you know? But yeah, guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, they're not going to close it out yet? I thought I heard... All right, he is going to close it out. I've only been doing this for over a decade. I'll figure it out eventually. Bye-bye, guys. Love you.
You're the reason I will never be alone. Every moment that we spend, like a symphony beats. You're the reason I will never be alone.
GSL Season 3.
I was counting my blessings. I felt beaten down. I was looking for a cause.